Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Flea and I are back as we continue our look into horror anime with Uzumaki, Spiral into Horror, created by Junji Ito. Her twisting bodies, intertwining, and spirals are developing all over the town of Kuruzuku. Sorry, Kuruzu. Is it Kuruzu? That's a good start.
It's something like
Ah,
that.
God, my brain.
Yes.
My brain no longer works. Welcome back. Yeah, had a bit of an accident earlier on during the week.
Oh,
That was terrible. I was just strolling along the internet as always, and I tripped and fell, and I reached up to the internet virtual shelf, and this fell into my shopping cart.
oh no! What you got now?
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that's all right. I've got everything Jojito ever wrote on my shelves.
Yeah, it was a purely by accident. You know, I just tripped, and I was reaching up to like try and save myself, and this pull fell down into my shopping cart, and then accidentally clicked the button.
Yeah,
You know how it happens.
all the time. Got to be honest.
That is some cracking artwork.
The artwork in all of his books are amazing.
The thing is, though, right, this is not colorized animation. This is like stenciling. This is black and white stenciling, really basic.
It's perfect though, because it's like the art style. The art style they use is his art style. It's Jojito's art style. I don't actually think you could like take something by Jojito and animate it any other way. It just wouldn't be Ito.
No, one of his anthologies, which I covered on my own, like way before this segment started, it was in color, but it was still his art. You know, it was still that just madness. You know,
such clean madness now. That's the problem. It's like his artwork is so clean. It's so like smooth. It's so easy to understand. But the stuff that's going on in it,
I think that's the appeal. I think that's what makes it even more sinister. It's not hiding behind tricks. It's not using splatter. It's just cleanly drawn lines. Watching something like this is really refreshing. You know, it's because we've seen some like high quality animation. You know, I mean, we've seen really detailed, you know, colors and palettes and everything else, and this is just stripped. It's almost like it's being drawn with a pencil.
It is. It's like it's animation. It's weird because it's like the anime style stripped down to its basics, but it's also really complicated at the same time.
Yeah, so I have to say it drew me in. It was just interesting. It's nice to see, and it just goes as well. Goes to show that you can have, if you have the storytelling and you have the idea, you don't need gimmicks.
Hollywood, are you listening?
No, they're not.
Disney, there's someone on the phone for you.
Nah, Disney can just fucking die. I don't give a shit about Disney. Soon that company just burns. I think I've said that multiple times. Like, I have no love for that company. But we have Kyria, and she's the narrator of this. So we've got an overarching narrator for events.
Yes. Starts off with a brief description of the time, and then waiting at the station for her boyfriend. Who on first like when you look at him, first opinion is he's kind of like a bit highly strung.
But he commutes out of the town to go to college.
So basically, it's kind of like he's noticed that things aren't as they should be in the town. And actually, I think the only reason he has noticed this is because he commutes out of town every day. So he basically sees the normal of everyday life.
And then he sees that something's going wrong with Karuzu. We'll just go for Karuzu. I know it was said a couple of times, I just forget how it's pronounced. But he sees that, yeah, there's something not right. And I suppose that makes perfect sense. If you're in a situation, you're you know the old saying, you can't see the wood for the trees? I mean,
Yeah, I
you're
do
in
indeed.
something.
Yep.
Yeah, you're in something. It doesn't matter what it is. You're in day to day. You can have changes creeping up and you don't notice. But if somebody goes away and then comes back and they're like, whoa, that's dramatically changed. And you haven't noticed.
That's it. Yeah, it's like I've related. I've got a brother who lives in London. Yeah. Every time he comes to visit, he says how much things have changed. And we're thinking like, what's changed? Where's this change? Because we don't see the change.
Yeah, that's what happens. You know, you're in the changes are like just gradual and incremental, and you don't notice. It might just be a new shop, a new signpost. Somebody's cut their heads differently, but multiply that by 10, and then you see the changes everywhere. So this is what Suishi's saying, that every time he comes back, everything's getting a little bit stranger. Oh, there's Luna. Greetings, welcome.
Oh,
We're talking about cartoons. Yay.
yeah.
We're the grown-ups.
Yeah,
This
we're talking
is the
about
grown-up
cartoons,
talk.
yeah.
No, that's the thing about anime, you know, and animation. It's a legit form of art style, and you can do things that, let's be honest, even trying to do this like practically, and there is a live action movie of this, just in case you're wondering. And
Oh
it's
my
not
god,
good.
is that being
It's
added
not
to
good.
the watch party?
It might have to be, but I think it's one of the ones where it's like, it's not good. I saw a couple of like clips, and I'm like, uh-oh. In my vast search, because this is not available in this country, because bastards. Just that took a bit of searching to find. Actually, it only came out in 2024. Even
Well,
Crunchyroll
yeah, but
doesn't have it in the
you have
UK.
to remember, you have to remember the purge against free anime sites is hitting anime fans hard. But the problem is, it's like, yeah, there are lots of like grey sites out there where you can watch anime for free. But the thing is, these sites have back catalogues that go back 20, 30, 40 years. There's stuff on these sites that you can't find anymore. So as these sites go down, we're losing anime.
But they don't care. If you're a company, a corporation, you don't care.
Well, yeah, but it's like, that's okay.
What-
All that matters is, like, you know, the mighty dollar.
But like I said at the start of this podcast, like years and years ago, I was always very anti-grey site or anything like that. I believe you pay the artist, but the problem is that they're making it that difficult to watch anything. Like you may as well just go back to buying physical media the way the streaming sites are set up.
Yeah, right.
But then
There are three main paid for anime sites. Yeah. High Life, Crunchyroll, and the other one. None of them got Uzumaki on them. Not one of them has Uzumaki.
No, I went through the official, you know, I mean, looking all over the place, and it was bloody hard to find. That's not right. And even trying to buy the physical copy, you can't. Hence why I ended up, when I first looked, I saw that and I'm like, yep.
Mine. So I've got the
this is a complete collection. So this goes after the story that we're watching, because basically what we're watching is chapter 1 of this. And then the story carries on.
I've got Uzumaki. I've got Uzumaki, the manga, the graphic novel. Yeah, I got mine from Waterstones. A long time ago.
2 places I went to, Waterstones and Eason's, all the time for my graphic novels. They were my Waterstones, you know, you just had this, you could sit down and have a little read. You know, I mean, it was just lovely shops, and I never liked Forbidden Planet. It was just overpriced tat. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, you get the same thing in Waterstones or Easton's, you know, for a good deal less, and the feeling that you're in a proper shop where you go to somewhere like Forbidden Planet, it's just it feels like tat. It feels like you're just I don't know, just herded along. You know what I mean? Just like you're going to a fast food chain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That sort of feeling. And yeah, I never liked it. But yeah, I think I said this years ago as well that when TV started moving into streaming, it was going to go this way. Hence, right back to the time when we all unplugged back in the early 2000s, when we said no to basically cable subscriptions and started buying physical media instead.
Yeah.
That time, the unplugged, you know, we were known as the unplugged because we couldn't be arsed paying for 200 TV channels to watch maybe 3 shows and the odd movie, and the movies were always interrupted with ads and stuff. So I see this happening again because streaming has just went the same way. Once they let the TV dickheads in and their filthy mindset, same with the ads now, they're pushing more ads and taking everybody up that pain point. You know, that how much can you tolerate before you start switching off? They would dial it down.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I like it's like right. There is one way to stop piracy. Yeah, and that is to provide the consumer with the same quality of good that the pirate can.
Yeah, because if you're a fan, you're prepared to pay money. That's the thing.
No
If you're a
offense,
fan of
no
something,
offense
you want
to
that
Crunchyroll,
thing to
but
succeed.
Crunchyroll is a mess.
You want that artist to get paid. You want the next thing to get made. That's the shitty thing about it. And these people don't understand fans. They never have. And they move into these niche because let's be honest, anime was always niche. Horror is niche, you know, even though it's massive, it's still a niche.
Yeah,
Um
that's the anime.
genre.
Anime is less niche than it used to be.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like I'll use Crunchyroll because like history for the people watching. Crunchyroll is the biggest paid-for anime streaming site in the world, but they started off as a pirate site until Sony tried to close them down, and they came to a deal with Sony. Now Crunchyroll is trying to close down all the sites that do what they used to do.
But the biggest thing for me,
only providing you with like a third of the anime. If that, it's like between the three main streaming sites, the three main paid for legal streaming sites, they only cover like
which is an idol property should be, you know, bigger than it is, but it's still you can't find it. No, this it shouldn't have had to go digging to try and watch this.
Oh yeah, I mean, right. Junji Ito is a name that is known around the world. He's known for horror. He's known as producing bloody good horror. Yeah. So you'd think something with like a powerhouse like Junji Ito behind it, it would be more in the public eye, at least of like on anime sites, but it's not.
Mm-hmm. That was really frustrating. But don't forget what they did with Funimation. Like that's a bit. I think that was one of the nails in the coffin because that was only what 2 years ago.
The fact that they brought up Funimation and then basically
screwed over Funimation subscriber base.
I was thinking about a nice way to put it.
No, there's no nice way to put it. If you were a subscriber to Funimation, you got screwed over. The same as Amazon's done now with their what do you call that? Their cloud gaming thing.
Oh God, I don't know. I've never been part of it. I know that they've.
They link it to Twitch.
Yeah,
They look at it as an
because it's
integration to
like it's
Twitch.
a pain in the ass trying to do anything on that site now.
But they did a thing there, and basically people that bought games that weren't strictly produced under their studio don't work anymore. And they're
No,
not getting refunds because technically it works somewhere.
that is
Yeah.
terrible.
That's what changed my opinion. So if you feel the need to sail the high seas, you crack on. You know what I mean? Honestly, because trust comes in two ways. You know what I mean? It's both supplier and consumer. You know what I mean? It's when a company screws over its customer base, when you just stop being customers. And if you try to game
Yeah,
the system that you can't go anywhere else, well, people just stop playing nice as well. And
see
this culture
that's just
needs
it.
to
It's
stop.
like, I mean, it's like the fact that people go to free sites has very little to do with free sites. It's one of the main reasons is the fact that they don't want to deal with the sites that are there.
Mhm.
I mean, high dive, whatever it's called, isn't that bad. It's not that bad, but it's like they don't have like Sony's corporate money behind them, so they can't bid for like the big anime.
Mhm.
They can't bid for all the ones that everybody wants to watch. Crunchyroll gets most of those.
And even they don't show, like I said, this was hard to find.
Oh yeah,
Which is a shame because it's only four episodes. It's a quick watch. You can watch it tonight, and
yeah.
it's
I mean,
it's like a film.
altogether, it's only like 4 episodes. Is just under 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a feature film.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's like I'm surprised actually that it was actually done as a series and not just done as a long format.
Mhm. That's one thing we've noticed. That's one thing about anime. They don't do feature films. They're very rare.
If they do, it's basically just a cut down episodes of the television series,
Mhm.
put back to back with a few new scenes in it. So there's only a couple of minutes of new stuff in there.
No, well, I prefer. You know me. I prefer movies anyway. I like a
Oh yeah,
narrative, story narrative, beginning, middle, and end. Although the way we split these series up is a lot better. It makes it more palatable. So we don't have to worry about like crabbing an entire 24 episodes or something and then talking about it and trying to remember everything.
no, I struggle with that with television. I'm going to say I struggle with that with television series.
Mhm. So
Because I had to read through this before we sat down. It's like, yes, I remember that. Oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, it's like I'm not going to say anime is in a bad place at the moment because it's not. Anime is in a very good place at the moment, but it's in a very bad place in the West because it's like Western corporations have realized that, do you know what? You can make money out of this.
yeah, I would say get their claws in, but then they're gonna squeeze it dry.
Oh yeah, and
And
you
they're
have
gonna
to
put
remember
people off.
most of the stuff that over in the West we have to pay to watch was shown on television in Japan.
Mhm.
So it's like it's just there with your cable or whatever.
No, well, that's fair. Well, this will play out the way it plays out, and
Mm. Right,
I
right.
I
Thing,
don't think the company will
well,
win long term because
no,
this is
right,
happening all
right, right.
over. People are pissed off with corporations doing this to us.
The thing that the corporations seem to fail to realize is that well, no, Crunchy has cottoned on to this, which is why when Anywave went down, Anywave crashed hard. Right? They didn't go after Anywave. They went after the servers. So Anywave had nowhere to stream. They've just done another site, but I can't remember the name of it. They've burned the database.
Mhm.
So although the site is still there, it's got nothing to stream.
Like I said, like you said, there's archives of stuff that's just not available.
Weirdly enough,
like casualties of war. You know what I mean? There's
yeah. Weirdly enough, yeah. This is where world politics gets involved. Yeah,
but
because while all this stuff,
I'll stop you there. Just watch what you're saying because I try to keep
oh
us.
right. I'm not gonna right. For great websites and things like that, yeah. At the moment, because it is cut off from the rest of the world, Russia is the ideal place to put your server. That's as far as I'm going with that. So if you had a favorite anime site and you can't find it anymore, instead of .to or .net or whatever at the end of it, just put .ru.
That's going to come with its own problems, like anything.
I'm laughing.
That's the thing. That's all leads on because
right. Oh, that's going to cause its own problems. I'm laughing in VPN because all I have to do is say I come from some other country and I have no problem.
Those VPN things aren't as safe as what they're cracked up to be. So I'd be careful. Never think you're bulletproof.
That's all right. What's it? My VPN is because I sign up to the antivirus Norton 360, which has a built-in VPN. But it's not some weird VPN that I've picked up off the internet.
No, but what I'm saying is Norton then has your details and where you go. And if you think they don't.
I've used Norton for years. I know Norton's my details. Right. But the thing is, for me, as far as I'm concerned, I only need to worry about people getting my details if I'm doing something that I don't want them to know about. So all these people are worried about corporations getting hold of their details. Exactly how are you breaking the law?
It's not even about that. It's your
right.
Your logins,
anyone who wants to,
your stuff.
Anyone who wants to can go and look at the census that we have done every so often. They can look at the electoral register, find out where I live. A phone book. All these people talk about privacy. We don't have privacy. Our details are everywhere. You just have nowhere to look.
Yeah, the problem is it's easier now. And all I'm saying is never think there's a one-stop solution.
Oh, you gotta think there isn't a one-stop solution because it's like if there was one, it's like let's take Anywave. Anywave was awesome. Anywave was my favorite site. Yeah, it used to be known as 9anime, but then it changed its name because Crunchyroll went after it. So 9anime just disappeared and then came back a few weeks later as Anywave. They can't do that anymore because they're going after the data centers. Anime piracy, if you can call it that, because there are certain things in Japan that make it not piracy. Right. And grey anime sites would evolve as they always have done.
Yeah,
it's like the free anime site isn't going to go away. It's just going to change.
Yeah. The whole point I was trying to make is what the corporations are and the way they do things, and they're not offering anything in return, as they're just pissing off customers.
Yeah.
And it makes you less likely or less inclined to support them. And I don't think that's the right way. We tried to explain this years ago. I mean, the first, like I said, I'm talking about old school, back to the unplug, right? We didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't unplug from Sky TV or cable or what, was a cable tail back in before Virgin. Yes, I'm showing my age. I do apologize. But it's not like it's not like I unplugged from them and then went to car boot sales, got dodgy bootleg stuff. I went to HMV or Virgin Mega Stores, do you know what I mean? And I bought box sets. I just bought it in the way I wanted it. So, for example, if I watch the TV, like I've talked about back in the day, Babylon 5, I bought all the box sets because I couldn't be arsed going to Well, what channel was it? Sky One or Channel 4? You know, whenever channel was on, I was only on certain days of the week, and they put the fucking episodes out of order, and then you show those shitty ads. I couldn't be arsed with that. Same as Battlestar Galactica. That was another one of the box sets I bought. You know, the reboot.
Yes.
Because you're able to binge the season. Fuck Akira. You know, what I mean, Macros Plus. Nightmare on Elm Street. You know what I mean? All the stuff I wanted to buy, and then
Mm.
also you got to look in their bargain bins. You know, they did the random like double sets of videos or DVDs and stuff. So I was still banned legitimately. I just did it a different way, and
Yeah.
they managed to destroy that.
It's actually like instead of paying Crunchyroll, what is it now? About £7 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I've got a favorite anime series for probably like 2, maybe 3 months money, I can actually go out there and buy like the DVD of it, and then I don't have to worry about paying to watch it whenever I watch it. I can watch it whenever I want. I think that's how it's going to be, because it's like a lot of these like air quotes grey anime sites, yeah. Nowadays they're starting to allow you to download the series that you like. You've got to join them, which is free, by the way, but you can download. So say you're a massive fan of...
We're going back to flipping BitTorrents and hard drives, aren't we?
Oh, right.
We're going back to 2010.
Right. Back in the 80s and the early 90s, yeah. It's like back when everybody was living with dial-up internet, yeah. Like the way it worked is like you get anime sites and you'd have threads of people who had copies of, like, let's think of a I don't know, Bubblegum Crisis, which I mentioned earlier in the like the copy of cyberpunk techno horror 6-part anime from 1987, I think it was. Right. You get is you'd write a list of the anime that you want on a piece of paper, and to this PO box you would post. They would send together with some money, which just covered postage. Yeah, They would send you back your videos packed full of whatever anime you wanted. Yeah. This works and was legal because it was non-profit, right? Most grey sites these days are also non-profit, and there is a law in Japan that says you can share anime with friends, copy it, burn them discs, send them downloads of it, whatever you want, as long as it's non-profit. Unfortunately, we don't have that here in the West, which is why Crunchyroll is waving its arms about.
I think that because they got rid of their main competitor, Funimation, and they're sitting in the top of the ivory tower, and it's still not enough. Because that's what people like that are like. It's never enough, and they're not offering anything. Like I've never felt the need, honestly. After that debacle, was that 2 or 3 years ago?
What, Funimation?
Yeah.
Good grief! No, it's like 6, 7, isn't it?
Is it? Holy shit! See how fast time's going. And sorry, folks, this is a massive tangent, by the way, but it was just the fact that this was so hard to find, so we could watch and talk about it.
That's what
this is all relating to. This Uzumaki was
here's an example. It's a great example. It's like we have struggled to find this to watch for this segment. Yeah, if we'd have picked this one 2, maybe 3 months ago, we'd have had no problem finding it. But the thing is, because this has been removed from, because this has basically been almost removed from the internet because of people closing down grey sites.
But they also removed it from Amazon. Like you could,
right. Yeah,
you could have went on Amazon, but they didn't close it down from it. Because I checked all these before I put them on the list.
I think the reason Amazon removed it is because they got complaints about it.
So once again, because this isn't mainstream, fluffy, fucking boring shit,
Right,
they don't want to
It's
show it,
right. It's
so
because
we're not allowed to watch it. Is that the way it works?
no, it's because these Westerners, these Westerners have looked at it and gone, oh no, I don't like that. No, it's well, oh, what's that word I hate that the Americans use? Icky. Oh, it's too icky. It's they removed it. Whereas like in Japan where this comes from, it's horror because Uzumaki spirals. Spirals do have power.
And the way they've done this is like this is graphic. It is so let's start getting into this because obviously we'll just end up spending an hour bitching.
Yeah,
because
we spent the best part of an hour chuntering about.
it just annoyed me when I can't, and even going through IMDb and stuff and going the legit
Yeah,
routes.
yeah.
You're like, oh no, you're not allowed to watch this, and you can't buy it in DVD, so I couldn't even order it in time. And I'm like, what the fuck? And now I'm like, I'm just pissed off with it because it just makes life harder, and there's no need.
Yeah.
But you're like,
Because I said to you, it's like it might be a struggle keeping this going, just for the simple reason the fact that some of quite a lot of the anime we've got on the list is more than a couple of years old.
which I bloody checked.
So it's like,
Like
if all the databases are disappearing, we are going to struggle.
Yeah, but we'll find a way through it. You know what I mean? If it's we'll find something out. But at the end of the day, we'll win.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
As what's his
Because
name?
we've done this before. We've been through this 100 times with different iterations, and I think the thing that pisses me off is when you try to play fair, you try to play nice, and people just treat you like shit, like you're dirt on the boot. And
Yeah.
I'm not being an aggressive, I'm not being a pain in the arse customer. That's what gets me. When it comes to if I want something, I just go and get it. Like I said,
Yeah.
that was an easy decision. Yeah, I've only started a bit because I've been busy, but that was an easy decision to make. No problem. What was that, 30 odd quid or something? Wasn't that much? No, it wasn't that much. Wasn't even 30 quid. As I say, this was reasonably priced for a full collection. I was happy to buy it. So why are you making this whole thing difficult? It's not like I'm not prepared to buy stuff.
You
cunts.
But they want us to buy things that should be free.
Or for a small, you know what I mean? For a small, I'm not.
Yeah.
When streaming first came out, that was the idea. It was a library. It was just a video library. They weren't making stuff. They were just a video library. And like Redbox and stuff, you know what I mean? You just paid the rent. The difference is that you'd signed up to subscription. Like, remember the mail order stuff at all? You know what I mean? This is not, there's nothing new and innovative that these companies do that haven't already been done before. That's the thing. These silly bastards have come into stuff that's already built. And because they're low effort, low rent individuals, they can't maintain it because they never built it. They have never built anything. And that's my issue with the current corporate culture, the civil service class, the ivory tower, these fucking bureaucratic idiots. They've never put themselves out for anything in their lives. Like, even just running this channel takes a hell of a lot of work in the background. You don't see it. You just see it when we pop on, but just getting everything ready and doing the research, taking the notes, watching the thing, getting organizing with people, making sure it's the right time, getting guests on, you name it, blah, blah, blah. That's not even bringing in the publication side of things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people.
You know what I mean?
Nobody sees flailing arms in the background.
No. But these people that do this and pull these stunts have never truly worked a day in their lives. They've turned up, yes, and they'll spend 8 to 10 hours in the office, but they're not working. They're just being there. I've seen it in the civil service from years ago. There's people that will stay there from 8 to 6, and they do fuck all, but they're just there.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't need to be there if they just fucking screw the nut and just do what they're meant to do. Yeah. But it's not about that.
No. the answer to what Crunchyroll is doing at the moment is easy. It's simple. It's like before you have a database now. You have a database with all the anime on it now. Now you have the database with all the anime on it and a backup. Not that much more expensive.
I've just got these these bunker raids happening with these like cases with hermetically sealed cases with fucking databases because no, that's of hats off to whoever's because this is a lot of effort for no return. What to do?
Oh
and
God!
effort for it.
it's like running these sites, keeping everything up to date. It's like like think about it. Yeah, what like 100% of anime. Yeah, 100% of manga is in Japanese. Yet you have people. You have the people who are running these sites. The groups that are helping behind the scenes. They can take an anime. They can take a raw episode of anime shown on television at, say, 6 o'clock tonight.
Mhm.
2 hours later, by 8, it will be on the site, fully subtitled, ready to watch. That's a lot of work. That's some dedication right there. Meanwhile, Crunchyroll has got people who are quite happy to change what people are saying to make it fit their agenda or use AI.
Yeah, and that's that was another thing that we have talked about before. The localizers, not just.
But I honestly think I've always saw this. I'll call them pirate sites because that's what Crunchyroll calls them. Pirate sites, yeah, have far more integrity than the people who want us to pay them to watch the same thing. That's one of the reasons why Crunchy will never win.
Yeah, because there's none. This, like I said, this shouldn't have been a drama that it was, just so we can watch and talk about it. But there you
It
go.
shouldn't, because it's like for every person who turns around and says, you know what, these pirate sites, they're all right and I use them, yeah. Less chance. There's less chance. Okay, there's less chance of like viruses. There's less chance of being hacked. There's less chance of like losing my credit card, that kind of thing. Because it's like the site I'm using at the moment. The first thing it tells you to do before you go onto it is to use VPN for your own safety. But it's like I think like it's something that's going to get worse before it gets better. Yeah,
it's a continuous. This has always been.
Yeah, Crunchyroll can't win because every time Crunchyroll does something to shut everything down, the grey anime sites just find another way to get around it.
But if they just didn't act like dicks, once again, you know what I mean. If they just didn't act like dicks, then that's how you get. That's how you win people over. Like I said, I have legit. People can go back to early episodes and see my stance, and you can actually see my stance changing. And just with like, you give me information, and I'll make a new determination from it. I go by evidence and what I see in front of me and people's behavior. People's behavior always. It doesn't matter what you're saying. Your behavior tells me everything about what you're trying to preach to me or whatever else. Doesn't matter what it is, your behavior and the way you act, and that's just a generic you, anybody I encounter, that's always going to be the leader in how I make my decisions. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
So Crunchyroll's behavior, Sony's behavior, the corporation's behavior makes me change my stance because they're not acting honorably and they're not offering. They're also, because a couple of loud people, because always loud people who, the victim mentality. I'm a victim. I saw something. I watched a horror. I watched something in the horror genre and it disturbed me, which the whole fucking point of the genre is to fucking evoke that emotion in you. That's the point of the horror genre. That sense of unease, that sense of questioning your mortality, that questioning everything. That's a whole done in very in different ways. Like even horror comedy can still bring that ick factor, to use the dumb yank word, but you know what I mean? It can bring that,
Oh,
oh, that shock. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of it, because if you get shocked, you're not complacent. If you feel danger, if you feel it, it means that you've got a chance to survive. That's the whole fright instinct. That's the whole point of being afraid and nervous. Look at wild animals. That's why they are, because there's predators. And do you think predators have gone away? Fuck, you know what I mean? Yeah, most predators now are human, but still, it doesn't mean they've gone away. You know what I mean? And the whole point of the horror genre is to remind you of that, so you fucking survive. You silly cunts. But because some loudmouth has went, oh, I don't like that. Nobody else is allowed to watch it. Because you're of a weak constitution, we can't watch stuff. We're not allowed. Because of your fucking fragile sensibilities. Fuck off. Seriously,
it's
just fuck right off. I haven't. Sorry, I haven't planned this tonight.
I think it's ridiculous how kind of like the minority rules the world, or well, the minority in orange people.
I'm just like, what the fuck?
Orange people.
I'm like, yeah, I'm just pissed off. I hadn't expected this to annoy me so much, but I've had a bit of a week of it, so I'm like, fucking. Anyway, right.
Understandable. Yeah, but anyway, about these spirals.
Yep. We watch the two main characters in this are Kiria and Shuichi, the boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're almost the point of view characters for this series. Shuichi's noticed, because he's commuting away, that the strange things are happening. And we see the scene in the river and the spirals appearing. And more importantly, his father, he's almost like the anchor point. He's the catalyst that sets us all off.
Mm. My father's been weirdly into spirals, or words to that effect.
Mm.
Yep, his father is without a doubt the first disturbing character. Like, but it's just kind of like it's. I'm trying to think of words to describe him, and I'm failing.
So he can't eat anything unless it's spiral shaped. He can't even drink a soup unless he swirls it. He can't have a bath. Oh God, see that scene, him like naked bent over the bath, swirling it like a child. I'm like, what the hell?
It's like but oh, it's like, yeah.
Like, once again, there's no frills. You know, normally that's all hidden away. Nah, just everything's just hanging out there. He's swirling the bath, and you're like, well, you're not gonna have a towel, right? You know, maybe if you're, I don't know, I'll get in the bath. I'm not having the towel around me. The last one,
like Japan,
there's no camera on me.
Japan is one of those countries that doesn't like taboo nakedness. Because you got to think, over here in the West, oh my God, nakedness. Being naked is dirty. It's weird. It's sick. It's perverse. Over in Japan, you've got public baths where there's like 30 of you sitting with the world's smallest towel, just like flopped out, enjoying the hot water. That's perfectly normal.
Yeah, but like I said, well, just the fact that the animation, because that's one thing the animation's always sort of shied away from, but this isn't. It's just throwing it all out there. And like I said, it's just, it's fun. The lighthouse. This is Lovecraftian, isn't it? This is cosmic horror.
It's like
once I saw the lighthouse, and it's pure black, like almost obsidian, dark, and apparently it's been sitting there dormant, as for decades. That just comes to life.
If you think about it, Uzumaki, it doesn't stay tech. Uzumaki is totally existential horror. So there is something happening here, and it's trying to destroy us. We don't know why, and there's no way to stop it.
But no one else is noticing. It's only Suichi
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
commutes.
No one else has noticed because to them, it's every day.
Yep. And Suichi's father is just having a bit of a meltdown. But when he goes, and this is how we see the connections, because when he obviously goes to, it turns out Kiria, her mother and father, well, obviously it's a small town anyway, they all know each other, but her father's potterer. Potterer? Is that it? Is that the right word?
It's good.
He creates pottery.
It'll
A
do
ceramic
for me.
artist.
Oh, there you go then.
There you go.
That
Is that really
makes
swish? A ceramic artist. There we go. That's quite proud of myself. But he tries to commission his father for a potter, a spiral. He wants him to basically, because he likes the way his wheel turns. Either way, he says, "I like the way your wheel turns." You're like, "Oh."
Yeah, but like it couldn't be any creepier if he'd have said it in the voice. It's like, "Oh, now then, I like the way your wheel turns." Oh, yes, it couldn't be any more creepy if he did it that way.
No, and that's the beauty of the way they do this, So
oh, I like the way your wheel turns.
But hey, money's money.
Yeah.
The first episode, of course, we meet Azami. And oh my god, I think she's the best like mad character in this. Next to Suichi's father, she was great in this.
As I've got to be honest, Azami is my favorite character in this.
So she basically is the most attractive girl in the village, but she also commutes, but she goes the other direction. So for some reason, her going the other direction,
so it's like
made her more affected.
Yeah, like Shuichi goes to college in the next town. Yeah, Azami lives in the next town
and comes into college. Yeah,
comes to school here.
So she's affected differently.
So basically, as the train with Shuichi pulls in, the next train going in the opposite direction is the one Azami will take home. It's not uncommon in Japan. You won't find it happening here, but God.
That's because you can't afford trains. Fucking everything's so expensive.
That is true, but it's like there are. I think the longest commute I heard of was a 13-year-old girl who left home at like 4:30 in the morning because she had to travel the best part of 30 miles to get to school.
I had to cancel.
So she went to a specialty school, an art school.
Yep. I had to cancel my appearance at the Lake Horror Fest. But not my appearance, the table. Because I worked it out. I couldn't get the train in the morning to be there in time. Because I didn't have a train leaving in time. I would have to go the night before and stay overnight in a hotel. And even if I sold every book, every pack of art cards, every bookmark, everything, I wouldn't have paid it back.
Wow.
It was 200 quid for the train. And even if I've got a travel lodge, you're probably looking, what is it? If you get a good rate, 90 quid. There's 300 quid down, plus add on what it obviously spent out. And even got there. And yeah, it just wasn't, for the stress and all. I was like, nah, we can't commute anywhere here because of shit.
Yeah.
Which is shouldn't be because we're a tiny country. We should be fucking gleaming.
Right. You know how bad it is. If someone wants to go from London to Newcastle, they've got a couple of days before they go there. So they fly to Sweden, spend a couple of days in Sweden, and then fly from Sweden to Newcastle.
And it's cheaper.
And it's cheaper than train.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it was. I'd love to do something like that, but I'm shit scared to go out the house. Never mind anything else. It's the cows. It's the amount of cows around here.
They look at you funny. But yeah, that's it. Just shows what's the difference in culture. They can jump on a train. They're actually the transport system's designed to help them. Ours isn't. Um, but yeah, she is now the most attractive girl in the town. Everyone fawns over her, except Suichi, because he takes one look and
Honestly,
goes,
honestly,
ah!
yeah, it's like his reaction. It's kind of like it's like it's like L learning about Shinigami
Mhm.
levels of reaction.
Yep. She has
It's like
a
wow,
small scar on her head, which just wasn't in the shape of it was in
mm,
a shape of a crescent at the start of this.
yeah, she's infected by the spiral.
But she
So I
also
love
has a freak out
I
because
love I love the fact that the spiral is basically treated like some kind of contagious disease.
and what I noticed was is basically if you see the spirals, they have you. I was thinking like the Mysterons out of Captain Scarlet, you know what I mean? If the Mysterons
This is
freaking
the voice of
Mys-
spirals.
yeah, I was just thinking the spiral, you know what I mean? If you see if you notice the spiral, then it has you.
Hmm.
It's like the light, you know what I mean? The fucking Jerry Anderson, he was a genius, you know what I mean? He used it essentially a no light, and that was a special effect, and it worked because we were all hooked. Because I remember in the kid, we just watched just fucking a torch, you know, what I mean? Basically a torch with a bit of cardboard in the middle, shot along. That was it. Oh, that was terrifying.
Not gonna lie. When I was young, yeah,
It worked. That's what I said. If you,
actually,
that's what I love
actually,
about horror, though. That's what I love about horror because it's not.
tangent.
No, but that was horror.
When I
That
was
was
a young
sci-fi horror.
when I was a young flea, we're talking like 50 years ago, flea. Yeah, the thing that terrified me the most out of everything in this world was the theme tune of Doctor Who.
But it was meant to.
I
You weren't
like
alone.
I love Doctor Who. I watched. I haven't watched much of the modern Doctor Who because I don't like the way that it feels very wooden. I used to run out the front room screaming. The moment the music stopped, I'd be there back on the sofa watching Doctor Who.
Mhm.
Soon as over the sofa, screaming back out.
But you weren't alone. That was everybody. That was the whole point of it. That's why people loved it. Once again, the whole point of getting frightened or disturbed or reaching up, you might talk about finding the frequencies that cause certain reactions in people and all. You know, what I mean, that is lizard brain type stuff. That is right down into our
Yeah,
DNA. Um, yeah, the fact that people complained about this and whined because it wasn't fluffy and had a happy ending, fuck off. But yeah, Azami, she can't deal with the fact that Suichi hasn't fallen for her. She's used to being fawned over by every bloke that she meets, and the fact that he rejects her doesn't matter whether he has a girlfriend or not. You know, the fact that
yeah,
his
right.
girlfriend there.
You've got to be honest. She's a bit of an anime trope. This character is a bit of an anime trope because
Mhm.
there's always in nearly every anime that's got anything to do with school in it, a girl who thinks she's better than everyone else and can't understand why one person doesn't like her. It works in this though.
Mhm. But that isn't her in this one. She's actually a nice girl until it's Suichi that actually triggers something in her. The other one, we don't meet until the next one. She's that trope,
Mm.
not Azami. Azami was more of a tragic case. Azami was just happy-go-lucky, nice, and people like found her attractive feature. But then
But look at me,
because
I'm gorgeous.
Azami noticed, that's what
Yeah,
changed her.
yes, look at me, I'm gorgeous. Yes, you are. Look at me, I'm gorgeous. Ah, the spirals.
Yeah, but that's the madness, isn't it? It's the thing. So once she was rejected, it's like she realized or something. You know what I mean? That flicked the switch in her, and then she was taken over. And once you're taken over by the spiralsness, that's it. You're done for. Um, as was Suichi's father. So in addition to commissioning the pottery piece, that wasn't enough. No, 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 no.
we missed the bit where it's like we brought you I brought you the pot that you asked my father to create. Oh, I don't need it anymore. I can make my own spirals.
But that's that's the bit I'm talking about. So in addition to ordering the pot, he's also ordered something else, a huge bathtub. Uh,
Yeah, but the bit where he makes his own spirals is the bit where he sticks his tongue out at her.
yeah, but that hasn't happened yet. That's what I'm saying. He'd already ordered it. So this thing arrives in the background. I don't know what the context is.
It's like it's kind of like I actually think he's like Treacher's dad is like without a doubt the most disturbing character in this entire anime.
Oh yeah, he's
It's like there are some other pretty gross ones, but he wins because he's just kind of like the creepy old geezer.
my question is, how do you get the lid on top of him? Or did he do that first before he proceeded to squish himself and break every bone in his body?
I don't know. Right. If we knew the answer to that, the world would be a better place, to quote my mother.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, because it's like
And he definitely grew
there's
a
no
mask.
way you could. You can't. I don't think you can kind of like. Pardon me. I don't think you can kind of like start and then like pull the lid on.
No, he must have put the lid on first and then because he got it basically. It's
Or
like it's a bath. It's not like a big. It's not like a
or
swimming pool or paddling pool or anything. It's a bath. Little.
did the spirals put the lid on?
Guess we'll never know.
Because it's like
The way a bathtub, you know, like the old tin bath, isn't it? But it's wooden.
It's kind of like in westerns. It's kind of like the thing you see people washing their clothes in. It's just like a really wide, fairly low tub with a lid on it.
Yeah, and that's what he basically puts himself into and just turns himself into a spiral and the tongue out and
breaking every single bone in his body and killing himself. You got to admit, when they take the lid off and you see him like lying there spiralized, it's like, oh, it is. If you're not expecting it, it is a bit of a shock.
Yep. Also, once again, I have to reiterate, this is done in black and white. Penciling. It's clean penciling. It's not. There's not like splatter and gore and stuff. This is straight. This is exactly as the book. Right. It's just done in pencils.
You will enjoy the book so much.
It bloody works, honestly. This see the way their face and all is, like the cleanly drawn faces. That's the way the characters are in the anime. It doesn't deviate from that. And bloody hell,
it's only 4 episodes. I can understand why it's only 4 episodes, because I think those 4 episodes would have taken as much. They would each of these episodes, the 4 episodes, would easily have been as expensive as a full 12, 13 episode season.
This is almost stop motion.
The amount, because it's like, if you look at most anime characters are really, really simple. The designs are really, really simple. The colors are really, really simple. This is black and white, so there is no color. It's all shading, and it looks like it's all been done with like cross hatching and pen. It basically is like the manga come to life.
Or what's that thing you do? The pen.
So what was that? There was a very loud blackbird in the background.
It's when you do the pencil, but it's like stippling.
Oh,
this is almost like a flick book. I mean, you get the idea of the animation here. It's like somebody's got a flick book and went, those things take ages, and the detail
it's gorgeous. I kind of knew what to expect, because I believe it or not, people went off Uzumaki very quickly because of the drop in animation quality between episode 1 and episode 2. Colin sits there with a question mark above his head. Apparently, there is a massive drop in quality between episode 1 and episode 2.
No, I think that's people they just find the thing disturbing. They're just looking for an
Oh,
escape.
people are just trying to what's it? People are just trying to find.
Yeah, they just find it too
reason.
disturbing. It's not your standard fluffy. This is disturbing. It's great. It's proper cosmic horror. If you're a fan of cosmic horror, existential dread, you know what I mean, and just spiraling into madness.
We need to get Chris and Cameron to watch this.
Definitely, yeah. Or maybe get them to watch the live action. I've seen it. No, we're gonna have to do that, aren't we? I've talked us into.
Right, I might hunt out and watch the live action.
I think we might have to do it.
Just to let you know whether or not it's going to be.
I've seen clips. I think we're gonna have to do it. No, it's a watch party. We're doing it. We'll do it after Bleach. Decision made. There you go.
It's like, no, it's terrible. It's really, really, really bad. We're doing it.
Yes, there you go. Done. Decision made. Easy. Oh god, because you can't. I can't see how this translate without being a big CGI fest on the live action. Anyway,
I suppose you could do practical effects, but you'd have to be absolutely on the nail with them.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you'd see like people's interference with stuff.
Yep. Because this is body horror as well. You know what I mean? It's not just cosmic; it's body horror.
Yeah. After seeing Sweetie's dad coiled up in that,
he's essentially coiled himself up into a tub and liquidized himself.
We're not just talking about like coiled himself as in like he's crept into it and wound himself up. He literally fills the entire thing, and he's knotted and he's twisted. His face is kind of like halfway along the spiral.
I'm trying.
His head isn't where his head should be. It's halfway along the spiral, and everything else is like, it's. If you're not expecting it, it's a bit of a whoa moment.
RoboCop.
Yes.
What do you call him? He became the melted man because he went into the vat of acid.
Yes.
So instead of him getting run over by the police car, if he had just fallen into that tub, that's how he would have ended up.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that. If somebody had got him and stirred him with a stick and made him into a spiral, then that would have been the effect. But that's not the end of it with him, because obviously we have the funeral and the cremation, and this is where it all just kicks off.
The cremation is such a creepy cremation. I absolutely love that cremation.
So essentially what happens is then the smoke goes up the stack and just turns into a spiral in the sky, and there he is. And what he wants is his wife to join him. Come join me in the spiral. And apparently this happens all over on the same day. Any cremations that are taking place in the town, it happens all over.
Yeah.
And this is just what just kicks it off.
I like the fact that it's mentioned. I don't know if it's mentioned in this one or in the next one, but it's like other cremations in other cities, like the smoke forms a spiral, but only if it's a cremation of someone who was born in this place.
Yep. Even if it's
So I love the fact it's like it's something that seems to be happening all over, but it all traces back here.
Yeah, and that's what
that again is very Lovecraftian.
Mm-hmm.
I loves me a bit of Lovecraftian.
And this is Kyria starts to see it now through whirlwinds. So now that she's been woken up to this, it's the whirlwinds that let her know that something's about to happen. that nobody else seems to notice.
Mm.
And then we meet. I didn't expect this to be a whole storyline itself, but we meet Katayama. Just
Katayama is awesome.
just a big, simple doof that has no grasp in reality.
I like the way you put the notes as being a little slow, and I'm like, I read he's like, appears to be a little slow, and I'm like, if only you knew.
Yeah, which I found out. Yeah, that's the whole premise. But yeah, he turns up to school. He forgot to put a coat on because it's raining. And he's just like, oh, sorry, I'm late. And I think the teachers just used it every day and they have this conversation. And he's just one of them kids that's just him. No.
Mm.
But of course, the kids want to, bully him.
Yeah, there's a bit with the volleyball match where it's like, it did make me laugh because it's like the ball comes towards him, the ball hits him and bounces off, and then he reacts by bringing his arms up.
But once again, this is no surprise, is it? This is the way he is. So why would you suppose kids? But
It's kids, right. Doesn't matter what country you come from. It doesn't matter race, religion, ethnicity, whatever. Kids will be kids.
yep, that's how kids figure themselves out and establish pecking orders. And
Yeah.
no, I mean, as always, as long as it doesn't go to the extreme. And
Yeah.
as long as when the thing that always pissed me off is if a kid's being bullied and then if they ever fight back and the teachers jump on them, I always hated that. But then that's been part of this shitification of the education system anyway. That's he fought back, we can't be having that. You're the worst one. It's like, what do you do if you push somebody's buttons continuously?
Gotta be honest, in Japan, they're prepared to let it go as long as when they start.
Still not great. I think you've seen Let the Right One In.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Oh, you mean bullying or the fighting back?
Oh, bullying and fighting back. They're prepared to let it go as long as it pretty much doesn't lead to bloodshed.
Once again, there's loads of ways to bully people. Look at the way girls bully each other. That never stops.
Gotta be honest, yeah, girls are worse than Jesus. When I was at school, it
doesn't end.
It was the
blokes fight, and if you fight back, you get respect.
Good God.
Yeah. No, I've noticed that with boys, right? Fight back, even if you don't win, you get respect. And it ends.
Oh yeah.
Girls doesn't. That's what the whole thing about the longhouse and that. And in fact, we'll see this here. And sorry. Yeah, we'll see the spiral appear on Katayama's back.
Yeah, because it's like basically bully whose name begins with T, and I can't remember his name, decides to get his revenge against Katayama by basically stripping all his clothes off and dragging him by the feet into the main corridor of the school, which is full of girls. And of course, to save his dignity, he rolls onto his front and reveals a big spiral on his back. Which kind of like ends the prank, and everybody's just there staring at him as he kind of slithers off.
Literally, I mean, that's the start of. Yeah, and that's the foreshadowing because I didn't think I had anything more of it. I didn't realize where it was going to go. Yeah, great. But then we have Azami again, who's now lost her mind because one man rejected her. and she sets up this. She is just she's gone. Like she is taken over, and the whole fact that she gets her somebody who's completely besotted on her, and he can't even see
Adami,
he's that besotted about her. That
it's like, Adami, I love you. I will do, please let me, I will do, and to show my love, I will do anything for you.
go get the man that I want to be with because he said no, and bring him so
Mm.
that I can do what I'm going to do, and you can watch. Like, that's twisted.
Yeah. I was like, oh, we know, well, we know where this is going. Yeah. And it's like, Shuichi brings him. I brought Shuichi. I brought him here to talk to you. Will you go out with me now? What do you
No,
mean go out? I didn't need to go out with you now. You've done everything I wanted you to. He's like, be gone. Go away. Don't need you anymore. You've done what I wanted you to do like an idiot. Now go away like a good little puppy. Or words to those effect.
hmm
But it's like she's standing there and she's wearing this like wide brimmed hat. Well, you say no, it's kind of like almost like a bowler. It's got quite a narrow brim, but she's got it angled in such a way that the brim is covering her
it's like
face.
a
It looks
small
really
sun
unnaturally.
parasol or something. Yeah, it's a strange hat.
Mm. And it's like this guy goes to slap her and he knocks the hat off. And from literally like the nose all the way up to the top of her head is just this whirlpool. Oh, we missed the bit where she loses her eye.
No, their eyes. No, because the whirlpools are their eyes inside it. The eyes sitting there.
No, because that's when she's talking to it's when she's talking to Kiri. She's talking to Kiri, and it's like the wind blows her hair apart, and you see like her face, and there's like an eyeball just perched on the edge of the spiral, and it goes bloop, and it just kind of like
No, that's the
spirals
bit
in and
now. That's the
disappears.
bit now that it's fully revealed because she then, when the eyeball rolls into the spiral and disappears, that's when she literally eats the boyfriend.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
No, because this is the point where she's just a mouth. We'll have to go back and rewatch it.
No, this is the bit because this is what happens. The eyeball once the eyeball disappears, the spiral's there, and then she literally swallows the guy. You know what I mean? Inside her through her head. Because you're about the bit with Kira is where her scar went from a crescent moon to a spiral, and that's where you know she's been it changed because when she was rejected. Sorry, I maybe didn't mention that. But when she was rejected by Surishi, the scar, which was a crescent shape, turned into a spiral because she awakened it inside her. And this is the bit where the way that eyeball is drawn, like, oh my god, you see it in the trailer. If you look
It's
up the trailer, you'll see it, and that's the bit where she eats him. But oh my god, this is just done in pencil. I have to reiterate this again. This is just done in pencil, and my god, that's how can you replicate that without CGI and make it look good?
they couldn't.
Because you actually see the ocular nerve and all still attached, and then it just snaps as it spirals in, and basically, he's just going into a vortex.
It is so like whoever
Even if it's in your
animated that.
stomach, it's like a python. It's the
Hmm.
equivalent of like a vacuum cleaner and a python because
Yeah,
it's not like he disappears.
it's
You
like
see him like go through her, like into your
it's
stomach.
like you're actually there, and he's like he's spiraling and flailing around, and arms and legs are all over the place. He's being sucked into this vortex that is this girl's face now, and you can just see his stomach expanding. And I'm like, oh hello, and I'm like, I don't remember there being any more in this, but apparently there is.
Yeah, and then she just consumes herself. Like this is graphic as hell. This is proper like disturbing and great. It doesn't pull any punches. And this is where
Mm.
anime, like I said, you couldn't do this in a live action movie
Nah,
without
it's
it being
like
not because the speed, right? If it was done in like 80s style, like the stuff, like used to poor Derek, the transformation, isn't it Derek or George?
oh good grief, you're asking
Remember
me.
they end up they spend 10 minutes getting him to transform because and the stuff coming out of him. It's a classic
I have
scene.
no idea.
But because of 80s technology and it's just so slow, it goes from horror to comical. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where this, it has the right pace and it has everything showing that it's horror because he's literally being consumed and you actually see him going through your body and you see every bit and jangle and yeah, it wasn't a good end for him.
It was right,
You know, he didn't go quickly and quietly. Put it like that.
Well, you can hear the pain. You can hear the pain.
Mm-hmm. I think you even hear the bones snapping as he's like.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't over the top, but it was the little crunches. Like once again, there's no like over the top sound effects either, but you know that his body is being shattered. It's not just like it goes in and slips. It's not like done. It's like crunch, crunch, crunch at a pace. Like oh my god, it is beautiful. But it is because you're getting the reaction. That's the thing as a horror fan. You're always chasing the dragon. You always want that thrill that you did as a kid of things going, whoa. And unfortunately, as you get older and you watch more of this and it becomes a staple, it's harder to get that. So something like this, like I said, even though it's black and white pencil drawing, gives you that sense. And you're like, oh God. That what a way to go. Was not pleasant. You've been here an hour. We've already covered episode 1. Oh dear.
Well, 45 minutes of this was like kind of like humping and grumping about the way anime is going at the moment.
Yeah.
And then it's like it's like the basic like visceral nature of this anime is just like worth talking about.
Yeah, and plus
that nothing like at the moment nothing makes sense, which is exactly how it should be. Because everything is still questions. Why this? Why that? Why the other? I love that. It's like there are at the moment there are no clues as to what is going on.
No, because everyone's just reacting in shock and horror to things just escalating around them.
Think about it. If this was modern, I'll say this is only a couple of years old. Uzumaki itself, the manga, isn't that old. But if this was like modern day, most of this first episode would have been taken explaining the backstory to make sure there was nothing disturbing or nothing shocking going to hurt you for the rest of the series. Well, this is basically like, here we are, we're like 16, 17 minutes into the first episode, and we've got a spiral in a girl's face devouring herself. You've got to admit the bit how like the limbs crack and pop and twist and deform is especially delicious when it gets down to the legs.
That's it. It's all kicked off now because then we'll go to next episode and then we'll meet Kariyama again. And he now basically has a hump on his back, and it's actually sticking through his shirt. So you can see that there's a spiral as well.
Yeah. Then we get a moment of randomness.
Yeah, because we've got these two sitting in a house or something, a young couple, and then these two pair of mating snakes appear and like just slither on past them and plop down into the basement or something through a hole. So it looks like they're hanging out in
Yes,
this abandoned house.
they're curled up in a spiral.
That was a bit of foreshadowing. I think we saw where that was going. We knew it was going to be important.
Yeah. The moment I saw the snakes, I was like, "Oh, it's this chapter." Rubs his hands together, grabs some popcorn, snuggles down to watch it on his phone.
Another fallout is still from the cremation. The smokestacks. Is that people are starting to bury their dead again?
Yeah. This is the bit where they tell you that like people, there are other spirals, other cremations in other cities, but only for people who were born here. I love the fact that there's two schools. There's like what was it? It's Kire and her friend, whose name I can't remember. Kind of like walking through the graveyard, talking about how they started burying people there again.
It was funny because, like, oh, imagine walking past dead bodies, but then again,
and then they just kind of like stop.
That's a cultural difference, though. Because basically what they're saying is the concept of cemeteries, as in what we know cemeteries to be, is anathema to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then again, it's like Japan is a Buddhist country, so burial is. I mean, burial isn't such a big thing here as it is over there. Like burial is really, really serious because you've got to do it in the right way. You've got to keep your ancestors' spirits happy.
What do you mean it's not serious? If you don't order enough sausage rolls, if you don't order enough sausage rolls for the wake, you're disgraced. If you don't have the right, like at least 3 types of sandwiches.
3 types of sandwiches, and one of them has to be egg and cress, even though nobody eats the egg and cress.
It has to be there. It's tradition.
It has to be there.
That's always the thing when you, if you're, if you're like your family's holding the funeral, you got to make sure. That's the thing you worry about, is making sure that the after funeral tea is top notch.
I've got to be honest. Like we held the wake at my sister's. Right. We held the wake at my sister's house just for the simple reason that I've been running around getting everything ready so much I hadn't hoovered for about a week.
Well, it was like with my mum there 2 years ago. She had to stay an extra 2 days in the house because they couldn't get her a burial slot. So that was a whole week of, making sure the teapots and the cups were washed and everything and ready for the next, the next group that were coming in. The living room was kept like a fridge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That was just a proper, had to be kept like a fridge because if not, things were going to go bad. And yeah, that was the whole thing. But like I said, the thing you worried about was, you worry about the service and stuff and make sure that's all good, right? But it's always the after funeral tea. It's your family's honor, if that makes sense. But the idea of a cemetery, like, once again, we go, I know back home we go all the time. It's a thing, Mother's Day, birthdays, Easter, it's up, plant the flower, change the flowers over. You walk past, in fact, if you see someone else's grave and the flowers have fallen over you, you go and you steady them up. That was just always a culture. Not your family, but still, you don't leave somebody's grave like that. And the fact that they're going, oh, what do you mean walking past dead people? Like,
it's just kind of like, let's get out of here, and off they run.
Yep.
And then we meet Chizuko.
Oh, little bastard. Or as he's known, Jack in the Box is his nickname.
Yes, because he likes to jump out and surprise people.
And he's massively in love with Kiria.
Pretty much now Zami's gone. Pretty much everyone seems to be.
strange that it just flips over, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And she wants none of it.
it's like the most beautiful girl in the school is gone, so the most beautiful girl in the school takes over. Kind of like the king is dead, long live the king, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And she wants, but unfortunately, unlike Azami, who kind of like really enjoyed being the centre of attention, she wants nothing to do with it. His love.
Yep. But then we find out that Kazunori and Yuriko, that's the young couple, are basically Romeo and
Mm.
Juliet. Their parents don't want them together. They're star-crossed lovers sort of thing. And now they also want to leave the town, which Sorichi's
You
already
know what?
said to
I
Kiria.
cannot imagine why anybody actually wants to stay there.
Is that not part of the curse, though? You know what I mean? People are trapped and they don't realize. People are trapped, they don't realize, they don't know anything else. But those that notice the sparrows, but the sparrows don't notice them back, they're the ones that want to escape.
Very strange. Very strange.
But two major things happen here is Kiria gets a dose of the sparrows, but it grabs her, basically infects her hair. Because Sorichi's going, has your hair got longer? Like, in a period of 2 days, like her hair's just dropped right down.
It's like 2 days, 1 foot of hair growth. It is
Mhm.
great. I love this bit because it's kind of like a lot of the things that have happened so far. It's like they've been telegraphed. You've seen them coming. You've known what's going. It's like Azami. You knew it was going to happen. Future's father. You knew what was going to happen. This what's about to happen just comes out of nowhere
Yep.
to the person you don't expect it to happen to.
Because she's the narrator of the story, so you'd think that she's
Yeah.
going to basically walk through this and just observe everything.
Normally in horror stories, if there's a narrator, the narrator seems to have at least a little bit of plot armor,
Mhm.
so they remain safe during the entire proceedings.
But nah, not in this one.
Nah, this is Japan. They don't do things like that.
Yep. Basically, her hair just starts getting the spirals, and yeah, that's it. Just goes absolutely crazy. Which I think it just makes perfect sense. Just turns into a giant snail.
Turns into a giant snail. I love the bit where he's kind of like, and his eyes suddenly pop out on stalks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even the noises only makes. I'm sorry.
Snail man. He's got. And so right. So he turns into a snail. So what do they do?
Put him in a cage. Just because that's what you actually do when you watch a human being turn into a snail. Ah, well, he needs a rabbit hutch now, or a snail hutch,
Yeah.
whatever.
We'll stick him in here, and then it was like the way Kire later on, Kire goes down there. She's walking towards me. She's like, "Oh, I hate having to do this. Why do I have to do this?" And then she just basically gets a hose pipe and starts sprinkling him with water.
Yep.
So it's like not only is he turned into a giant snail, not only have they put him in a hutch, but they've also created a roster for people to follow to go down and water him.
So he doesn't dry out.
It's just like, wow.
That's so It's so pragmatic and practical and cold. And they do all sorts of things at the same time. That yeah,
It's kind of like it's like, it's very. You've got to be honest. It's very Japanese.
Mm. Yeah, because that's nobody freaks out. Like, okay, guess we're gonna he's a snail now. Guess we'll have to look after him different. You know, I'm just surprised I haven't come with like a bowl of lettuce or something for him. You know. Yeah, brilliant. But Kyria decides that she doesn't want this hair, doesn't like it, and tries to go to the hairdresser.
Which is when her hair tries to kill the hairdresser.
Literally just
Because apparently her hair is a living, sentient creature. Or at least it's smart enough to be able to defend itself.
And at this point, Sorichi appears, takes one look and goes, "Nope." Ah! Away he goes. See you later. Declares his love for Kyria.
Yeah, he's got a gift for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, look, it's like, go away. I've already got a boyfriend. I don't love you. No, I love you more than you do. I'll prove my love for you.
Yeah, that didn't work out well.
At which point he stands in front of the car. And the car hits him. And he gets killed by this car in the worst way I can think of.
I don't know. Like, a car doing that, if it was a truck or a tank or like, what do you call it? Like a bulldozer? Not a bulldozer. Yeah, like a big...
Yeah, but
big
have you
piece
seen
of
these
plant.
American... Have you seen these big American... It was probably like the Japanese equivalent of a monster truck.
But he gets his...
really small and like utility.
Yeah.
Because it's like, can you imagine that though? Just stop for a moment and imagine being hit by a car and being dragged under the car that way.
And wrapped around the front wheel. Then you're still alive.
But basically, the car runs over him and somehow he gets sucked into the wheel well of the car and wrapped around it. And I'm kind of like, oh.
Yeah, but that's not the end of it because he's still alive, briefly.
Oh, yeah.
He's still alive. He's wrapped around. His whole body's crunched. Another pupil who didn't know much about turns into a snail as well.
Right. The second guy who turns into a snail is the guy who was bullying him and dragged him into the corridor naked.
Oh, right. Okay. That was a quick scene.
This is a very cringy bit because it's like the kid who was being bullied, Katayama. Remember to watch your Katayama, kids. The Katayama turns into a snail. The guy whose name begins with T, it's something like Satsuki, but not. Turns into a snail. It's like, oh my god. It's like, oh, Katayama's got out. Wait, that's not Katayama. That's whatever this other kid's game was. Not another one. So they put them both. They put both the boys who have turned into snails into the hutch. At which point they instantly begin to have sex with each other.
Yep.
Because remember, kids, snails are hermaphrodites.
They'll just do what needs to be to carry on. So
I'm just kind of like, I missed the next bit because I'd taken my glasses off and I was rubbing my eyes.
Well, they both escape the hutch. They both break
So
out the hutch.
I really did not need to see two snails having like
relations,
sex in my anime. Oh dear.
They ever have basically this is
kind of where things really start to escalate, isn't it?
Yeah, because then we have Kyoko get introduced. And she's not taking it lightly that Kyria has become the object of people's desires.
Kyria is the center of attention where it should be me.
Because her brother told her, right, you've made your hair angry. That's why it's trying to kill you. You know, because the hair tries to kill her as well. And he's like, you made your hair angry. Don't. So she apologizes to her hair. And then she's walking around with these spirals, you know, and everyone's like falling over them. Basically,
but he's just kind of like following her because of the magnetic hypnotic spirals in her hair.
Mhm.
But it's like I love kind of like how that ends up. But it's kind of like
Well, Kyoga appears. She's not going to be outdone, so she decides that she's going to get spirals in her hair too, and then it becomes like a schoolyard fight.
oh yeah, because it's isn't that just isn't that that's either just before or just after the snails escape, where she's like, look at me,
It's right about the
look at
same
me.
time. The
It's like,
pace of
look
this.
at me, Kira.
Yep.
Look at my hair. And then they decide to have a hair fight. In which it's kind of like Pokemon, but hair.
Mhm.
In which their individual hairs duke it out with each other. Which sounds ridiculous, but isn't, because it's like as their hair is fighting, you can see the two of them becoming like thinner and thinner and more wasted, almost as if in order to fight, the hair is sucking the life out of them.
Yeah, and if you remember back to Amica, basically that's what happens. The sparrow's consuming the people, so the hair is
Yeah.
basically acting the same way. So it's the person goes, but Shuichi appears.
It's kind of like Shuichi appears and he attacks Kirei's hair, and it's like Kirei's hair loses interest in Kyoko
Mhm.
and decides to tackle him instead. And it's like Kirei is lying unconscious. It's like Shuichi is totally enveloped in her hair, and Kyoko's like, "Ho ho ho! I've won! I've won!" And then it's like she walks off, and there's all these people looking. She goes, "Look at me, people! People, look at me! Aren't I wonderful?" It's like I'm the greatest, and she's getting thinner and thinner until she leans against this telegraph pole, and her hair wraps around the telegraph pole like some kind of like vine or some kind of weed,
Mhm.
and all that's left of like Kyoko at the bottom of it is kind of like this shriveled, desiccated corpse clinging onto this lamppost.
Yeah,
I love that bit. I really love that bit.
Especially when you see her later on, you know what I mean? It does just days
Oh
though.
yeah, because it's like there's someone on the lamppost. Corpse.
Yeah, but thankfully Suichi manages to, from the inside, like even that scene where he gets enveloped, you know, as if he's getting eaten by the hair, like
Yeah.
that's graphic. You know, he's basically going to get crushed to death in the strands,
Yeah.
and the fact that it can
Yeah,
swallow.
but I love the bit where it's just like the two blades of the scissors come out and just cut through it.
Mhm.
And it's almost like now that Kirei is unconscious, it's like her hair can't do anything.
Mhm.
And he just literally cuts all her hair off.
Which saves her life.
Yep.
Then after that, we have the whole scene where basically Kiria wakes up again, and then they realize that Kazunori and Yuriko are trying to escape, and then they're thinking, let's help him and let's escape as well. Let's get out of this town. But of course, that doesn't work out because the family's in here.
It's Romeo and Juliet, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it never ends well.
It's the Romulans and the Capulets. And the Romulans?
Yeah. Yes.
Capulets. Yeah. I hated Romeo and Juliet. I just hate that story. I'm not a Shakespeare fan.
No, me neither. I had to do Shakespeare. I had to do Hamlet and Macbeth at school. That was enough.
They do Romeo and Juliet, and they do Anthony and Cleopatra.
Oh my god.
And that was enough for me. And I've tried some of the sonnets and stuff. God's sake, even the Midwinter's Tale. I need to revisit it. I tried that when I was younger. I just didn't enjoy it. Hubble Bubble, Toil and Trouble, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm not a fan. So I didn't go on with English Lit. Needless to
I
say,
have a choice.
not to do it up the A level. That was enough. Anyway, yeah, we get this. So their solution is when their parents try to stop them, is that they transform into snakes themselves, just coil up together.
That is kind of weird. You have this really long chase scene where they're avoiding each other until they kind of get cornered on the beach.
Mhm.
And then they just kind of grab hands, and the effect is like kind of like snapping two springs together. And they just like, oh.
Then they just slip into the sea. That's the end of them. You think that would be the end of the episode? Like
Yeah.
these episodes are only like, well, actually, in fairness, this one the episodes get longer, so they go from like 23 minutes to 26, near half an hour. Like the last two are like
Mm,
near half an hour long, so they do get
yeah.
a bit longer. But you'd think that would be the end of this episode,
Yeah.
but no.
But no. But no.
The lighthouse wakes up and decides it's going to start bringing ships in and crashing them.
Yeah.
I
Also,
just
around this time, people start walking in circles and they can't stop.
Yep. And then they notice the ships that have crashed. The sailors are up on deck walking in circles. So
Walking
it's
in circles. Yeah.
Yep.
You
Mitsui
think there could
decides.
be a link?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like everything's just escalating and coming in. It's not hiding anymore. It's just there.
Yeah. Because I do like the way that, however, it starts if it's like strange things have been happening, and then just kind of like stamps on the accelerator and takes off from there.
Mhm.
It's
There's
like
this-
from the first moment of episode 1, when Kirei calls out Shuichi's name, it's just pedal to the floor, full throttle, and the story just doesn't stop.
Mhm.
It just escalates and escalates and escalates and escalates.
Which is, it makes sense. It's like a feature film. Like we're seeing the whole town getting involved in the madness, and we're seeing the key points. With the lighthouse
Oh,
again, we see that Mitsui, Kira's younger brother, decides he's going to run into it. Well, he's chasing his friend who ran into it. I did
despite
not
the
know where
fact,
this is going to go, to be honest.
yeah, despite the fact that 5 people from some organization went into the lighthouse the day before, and none of them have come back.
Mm-hmm.
Kirei's brother runs in. Kirei runs in after him, going, "No, don't go into the lighthouse. Come back this instant." Follows them up the stairs.
And then there's just bodies. Obviously, the 5 people that went in, their bodies are just littered, like all the way up the stairs. And even the way they're drawn is graphic. Like, I suppose I'm repeating myself, but these are just
Like those bodies are like they've literally been almost burnt down to their bones.
Mhm.
Pork coming from the screen.
Yep.
But it's like if you want to put detail into a picture, draw it in pencil or ink. Don't draw it in paint, because you cannot get the smallest detail. In order to think about it, in order to get all the detail in a painting, you have to use a huge canvas,
Mm-hmm.
because you can only paint so small. Yet with a pencil, you can make the tiniest little dot.
And that's what they've done here. It's like really detailed. It's fantastic. The boys are frozen. They don't even go up to the top. They've stopped. They've seen the bodies and they've just froze. They can't move. They're terrified because they skip past a body or two, and then realization dawned on them what they just did, and then they're afraid to go back down. They're afraid to go up. They're just frozen in place. Which is realistic, deer in the headlamp sort of thing. Absolutely frozen with fear. that I didn't. Once again, I hadn't twigged. I thought these were people that might have been there for ages. I hadn't twigged what was actually going to happen. I'll not lie, and I like that. I like the fact that I'm not guessing everything here,
Mm.
and I don't know what the plot ahead of me is going to show. But Kira goes up to the top of the lighthouse. Oh my god, that is something like if you're playing Call of Cthulhu, you would expect, isn't it?
I was going to say, yeah, that the light at the top of the lighthouse, the most Lovecraftian light I have ever seen.
Like it's just all melted and twisted, and
It's like it's an end boss kind of thing.
Mhm. And it's actually Kira slowly realizes what's happened because she sees the melted glass. Because that's basically what it is. It's all the glass that surrounds the bowl. You know, it's just all melted into like an inhuman, like monstrous shape, and then that takes her by surprise. But it's when she looks and notices that the glass in the lighthouse itself, the outer glass, isn't there anymore, and it's all on the floor. And then it twigs on that the heat coming from the lighthouse is so intense, and then the bodies, and then you put two and two together and realize that when the lighthouse switches on, anybody in its vicinity is getting incinerated, and then it becomes a race. You know, oh no, it's getting dark. We gotta go. Like just the way they did this, you know, and this is all done. It's once again the pacing of this is fantastic. Because as she's putting two and two together, I'm putting two and two together at the same time. I know you've read the manga, but
Mm.
I love the fact that I'm putting two and two at the same time as the character, and I don't already know what's going to happen.
That's the thing. It's like,
do you know what I mean? That the
yeah,
information's drip fed at the same time, and you're sort of coming to realization in real time. And I love that. I just like I said, because that makes me invested in the story. And I'm not finding out afterward. I'm actually in real time the character, looking at this, looking at that, going, "Oh shit, just figured it out." As she goes, "Oh shit, just figured it out." And I love being in sync with the story. It's very rare
it's
that happens.
and the fact that it's like she looks at the light bulb. She looks out through the window at the setting sun. She looks back at the light bulb. She looks back out the window. The sun has touched the ocean. She looks back at the light bulb. She looks back at the window. The sun is sinking behind the ocean, and she's like, "Get out! Get out! Run! Run!"
Mhm.
And they run. And as in all good Japanese horror, one of the kids stumbles on the stairs, falls, and is engulfed by the light.
Yeah, and
Japanese horror, not afraid to kill off kids when it has to.
no, but that's the thing.
I'm not saying that's a good thing, and that I'm one of these people who goes like, "Ha ha ha!"
No, but
Dead
I
kid.
hate but I
You
hate the
don't
safe.
see it anymore.
Okay, my thing about it is right, especially in Western like horror movies and all. If it's a kid, it's 9 times out of 10 it's safe. So you have no investment. You know nothing's going to happen, so you don't get invested in the character. There's no sense of oh, what could happen. The final girl trope. So once you
Yeah.
identify who the final girl is, you know they're safe. So it becomes predictable. So you have no sense of who could it be, who's going to make it out of this. You know, you're not once again, you're not in sync with the story. You already know the ending. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You've already figured out how it's going to end, and it's very rare that trend gets bucked. A good example would have been The Descent, where they bucked the trend, but then The Descent 2, they messed it up. I'm not
Yeah.
spoiling
Yeah.
it, but they actually ruined their own movie by making a sequel.
A great number of films have done that.
Yeah, but like I said, most of the times you know who's going to be safe, you know who's getting it, and it just becomes boring. This, I feel like nobody's safe. And even though Kyria is narrating this, she could easily be narrating it from the grave. We don't know.
Well, I mean, she's already been a victim of the spiral.
Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't end there because she doesn't get away from this.
Hmm.
She stops to help the boy, and she gets caught.
Yeah. I mean, Mitsuo has a little bit of plot armor because he survives this.
But he very easily couldn't have. There's nothing to say why it would have to be him.
He has a role to play.
No, but up until this moment, we don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? At this time, I feel like the only person I know might make it to the end, if she's not given the narration from the afterlife, is Kyria. Everyone else is up for grabs, even Shizutsu, because he's done his job. Suichi's done his job. You know what I mean? He's made her aware of it. He can go at any time. Nobody else in the cast is safe. And that makes you're like, okay, I have to pay attention to everybody. They might be carrying on, they might not be here. I don't know how this is going to end. But this is the moment. This is where it all sort of kicks off, because at that, the spirals that's the town now completely engulfed. It's not being subtle anymore. It's not gradual. It's happened.
Yeah, this is where normality leaves the building.
Soichi's mother, this is where we're starting the third episode. Soichi's mother is a complete mess. She is being tormented by her husband.
She's been tormented. Right, she after the funeral, after the cremation, she's convinced that her husband's spirit is going to come and force her to join him in the spiral. At which point she noticed that the hair on the crown of your head forms a spiral, so she shaved her head. Then she noticed that your fingerprints and your toe prints have got spirals in them, so she took a pair of scissors and cut them off live to the audience.
Yeah, that was rough.
Thanks for that. It's yeah. But then again, horrific. Yeah, and so she wears her hands are bandaged. It's she's bald, and she's sitting there in the doctor's office, and the doctor is kind of we think maybe some time in a psychiatric institution would be good for you. And behind him is a poster that shows various parts of the body, including the inner ear.
The cochlea, which
is of course spiral shaped. But she doesn't notice it. Not until late that night, when she's having a nightmare with her husband. Her husband's going "There's a spiral in your ear. The spiral is inside you."
But obviously, Kyria is being treated for burns. We have a swarm of mosquitoes, because what we have is Dragonfly Lake, which is like a central lake in the town, and the dragonflies are in mating season. This is one I sort of got an idea where it was going, but once again, you can't expect this. It's just so off. It's just so off the wall.
I must ask, did you expect it to go in exactly the way it went?
No, but I knew the mosquitoes, and I knew them biting the pregnant woman was going to do something, but I just didn't know what or how it was going to play out. And yeah, it turns out because of the shortage, basically the maternity ward is overflowing because a whole
Yeah,
bunch of
all
pregnant
the
women
women seem
getting
to have got
bitten.
pregnant at the same time, which is weird.
Yep, and also getting bitten by mosquitoes. It seems like a mosquito swarm is only targeting pregnant women.
This episode. Do you think out of all of them, this episode is the darkest?
It's right up there because this is it doesn't stop.
No, it's like I said, it's kind of like it starts episode one. The first line of the first 30 seconds of episode one starts out quite steadily,
Mhm.
and then it's just like Ito just stamps the accelerator, and then it doesn't stop. It's like every minute of every episode after that ramps up a little bit more, until you get to the end.
So we get the first indication that there's a link is when Suichi's visiting his mother. He goes to see Keiko. Sorry, he goes to see Kiria. Keiko, one of her friends, has been transferred in here, so she's like in the next ward. A mosquito goes to land and he sprays it, and her reaction is like ultraviolet, as if she was being sprayed. That's where we get the first indication that there's a link. The mosquitoes are doing something to the pregnant woman. I was expecting it to be something like The Fly,
Yeah.
but I wasn't expecting this. So it turns out
See,
there's
my reaction was like, oh, it's this bit.
yeah, but that's what I mean. You've read it, so I held off reading this because I wanted to watch the anime first.
See,
I didn't want to read it first and then ruin the anime.
And I've owned pretty much everything Junji Ito's ever done for the simple reason there were no animated versions of it. And it was one of those, oddly enough, it's like Uzumaki is one of those things where it's been like, is this ever going to be animated? And nearly every single anime studio in Japan has turned around and gone, no, we won't animate this. Because it's like Junji Ito is like he's kind of like he's like David Gemmell, the fantasy writer.
Yep. Dross the Legend.
Lots of stipulate like David Gemmell wrote books like Legend, Waylander, things like that. He's quite happy to have the film. He's quite happy to have them turned into films, as long as he writes the scripts, he directs, he gets final say on anything.
Yeah, well, he's gone now.
No film company will deal with him.
No, he's gone.
Junji Ito is kind of the same.
Yeah, but David Gemmell's been dead for years. When did he die? He died like I think he's been dead for about 10 years, at least.
David Gemmell's dead. What is this? Really? I didn't know David Gemmell was dead.
Was it best known? 2006.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's been dead for years. Maybe don't tell Hollywood though. Don't tell Amazon or don't tell Disney Plus. He's still about.
Like the slight tangent. The one David Gemmell film I would love to see turned into a film is Legend.
Yeah, the first and last appearance of Dross.
God, yes. Simply because of just the Legend. That man is Legend. I don't want any of his other films to be done. Just Legend, yeah?
Yeah, but you can't.
Also, the one film I do not want, the one book of his that I do not want to see turned into a film is Legend. Just think how they would hack it.
Yeah, but they would hack. If you think about in Legend, sorry folks, not a tangent, but because of the ideologies and the sensibilities today, effectively comes up against a Saracen or the equivalent of a Saracen in fantasy terms, and the only way the Saracen could win was by poisoning his blades. A dirty trick. Yeah. They wouldn't do that today because Dross was based off like a Viking. He's like a typical European.
No. Right. Hang on. This is the 2026 version.
Yeah,
It's not
that's what I'm
Dross.
saying.
It's Drusilla.
Yeah, the butcher it.
They
him
would
be the oppressor.
absolutely. Right, I've got to be honest. Besides Dross, my favorite character in Legend is Ulrich, the leader of the bad guys, just because he's like honourable to a T.
Which is why he was disgraced. I can't remember who the champion's name was, but the fact that he poisoned his blades, that was dishonourable. So it wasn't an honourable death or no fair combat. And I haven't read these in years, but that was one of the biggest lessons about,
That and the Ella Bronx, who is just fucking cool. See, but in a way, it's like, would you need to turn Dross into like a female character? Because there is already a ridiculously strong female character in there.
Yeah,
but
she would be the girl boss. They'd make her a girl boss and emasculate Dross. So no, sorry, not in today's. Maybe in 20 years' time.
Right. It can never happen. Maybe 30, 40 years ago, or maybe 30, 40 years into the future. But not now, please. Not now.
Yep, that's what I mean. Just
please, God, I will get on my knees and pray. Not now.
No, sorry.
Meanwhile, mosquitoes are swarming around the town, biting pregnant women. So all the pregnant women being brought into hospital to be treated for these mosquito bites. And there's a mysterious spate of murders at the hospital in which the patients have been stabbed and drained of blood.
Are we putting two and two together yet, folks? This one is a bit more telegraphed. You kind of know where it's going.
Right. We'll give you. It's fairly well telegraphed, but you're still not ready for the horror when it springs.
Even the bit where Kyria is like, "Oh, what's this big heavy thing you've got wrapped up, clunk into your locker?" Yeah, don't worry about that.
It's like it's shaped like one of those old-fashioned drills. What is it? No, it's just put it in the bedside table. Okay. Like Keiko. No, not Keiko. Kira. Kira is lovely, but you've got to be honest. Being burned by that light in the last episode appears to have removed a lot of her intellect. It's like it's like everybody in hospital. The moment you go into a hospital, your IQ drops.
It's the disinfectant in the air,
Last time I was in hospital, it was the heat. Because I just had like a finger sewn back on, and in order to make sure that the blood was flowing, they kept the room I was in as hot as possible.
Lovely.
God, it was maddening. I lost the finger in the end, anyway. Oh well. Anyway, yeah. So, and they go to sleep, and it's like Kia is asleep, and she gets woken up by a mosquito. And she hears noise. She hears a noise outside.
Yeah.
And so she goes and she opens the door. And there's all these pregnant women with mosquito bites, walking around outside with hand drills.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
vampire mosquito pregnant women from space sort of thing. It just turns into
This isn't the horror bit, by the way, yet, folks.
Oh no, God! You think this would be enough, but no.
No.
So the mosquito pregnant women basically go on nightly feedings, and their nightly feedings of everybody else in the hospital. Which is
with the drill, give it a few turns. Person doesn't wake up because they've used the power of the spiral, and then they just kind of like suck the blood from them. And then the woman who's doing this turns around, and Kira gets spotted. It always gets me how a panicked woman crawling on all fours is faster than a group of women walking.
Yeah, that was a bit of plot armor engaged there.
They were heavily pregnant though and wobbling quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She gets back into her room where she finds the can of mosquito spray and sprays them, which causes them to run.
But here's the thing. Nobody notices, right? So there's another spate of murders, and they don't notice that all the pregnant women have drills. Like, they don't search.
It's the fact that she's
premises.
like, she's there. She's got evidence. She's got proof. Nobody believes her.
But that's not the end of this. But in the meantime, yeah, Bisaseru, or Shuichi's mother, finally gives in because her husband speaks to her and then reminds her that there's spirals.
Yeah. She tries to find
In her
proof
head.
from the doctor's office, but the doctor has removed the posting, and the doctor, they're going like, whoa, we dodged a bullet then.
Yeah. But no,
Her husband keeps telling her that there are spirals inside her ears. There's spirals. Her husband wants to crawl in her ear and curl up in that spiral.
that was freaky as hell.
That was. Yeah, but this is like it's Joji. Like, have you got all of Joji Ito's books or just Spiral?
No, just bought that one.
Oh, you're going to be spending so much money after you finish Spiral to get the others. It's like the good. He hasn't written a bad horror story, and they are all kind of like the same kind of depth and weirdness as Uzumaki is. Every single one of them. I'm like, which is my favorite Joji Ito manga? Yes. Is there one I'm going to I would recommend to anybody? No, because they're all just as good as each other. I don't think, like, in my opinion as like an anime / manga fan with like 40 years of history behind me, Joji Ito has not written a bad story. They're all like this.
I'm here for it because
I recommend them all.
Like, even
You
as
can, of course,
the Japanese
you can, of
tale
course,
of horror,
find all of them free to read on the internet if you're prepared to look.
but why would you? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, but it's like
beautiful
reading
books.
free on the internet is nowhere near as nice as kind of like holding a physical copy in your hand and
That's
then
one thing,
walking into a room, looking at your bookshelf and seeing the physical copy just kind of like sitting there.
that's something about comics and animation, and manga. The digital era never really took off. Like, Kindle and that never managed to capture that market because
Yeah.
if you like comic books, or if you like
Yeah.
graphic novels or manga, whatever it might be, you like the physical copy. That's part. You're looking at an art book. It's like getting the difference between looking at a wallpaper on the computer and actually getting a piece of art to hang on your wall. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
but think about comics in Japan, yeah.
Hmm.
Like if you go into, like, say you walk into a newsagent in any country, yeah. You'll walk in and you'll be like, right then, I'm going to buy a comic, and you'll walk up to the newsagent or the supermarket or whatever, and you'll buy like going to go back to the comics I used to read. You'll buy something like 2000 AD, Eagle, Buster, Monster Fun, Beano, Dandy. You'll just buy a comic, and it'll be on newsprint. It'll be like on news. It used to be like on newspaper quality paper, like 3-color printing, that kind of thing. And it used to be, I don't know, 20 pages. Yeah. But if you go into Japan and you buy a comic, they're the size of telephone directories. Literally, like, you're talking of a comic that is about 2.5 inches thick. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're graphic novels, you know.
Yeah, no. Like, with dozens of individual stories in. So it's like, it's not. They don't release their comics as like individual issues. They release their comics as anthologies with like a dozen issues of different stories in. So it's like if Uzumaki was released in comic form, Uzumaki would only be a small part of the comic. Then for the people who are only interested in certain stories, they release tankobons, what we call over here graphic novels. They release the graphic novels as just that individual story. Japanese comics are awesome because it's like you buy one at the end of the week and it will last you through the entire week until you get to the next weekend just reading it. But it's all like really, really terrible, like newspaper quality print on newspaper quality paper. And you can tell where the individual stories are because one will be printed on red paper, one will be printed on green, yellow, white, blue. I love Japanese comics, proper Japanese comics, the big anthologies like Shonen Weekly and things Shonen Jump. They're awesome. I'm kind of sad that they don't do it. I'd like them to do something like that in this country, only with old comics. So just like all the old different comics, all just kind of like slapped together in one big volume that you can buy.
Nobody has the
Nobody be willing to do it. It's like the thing is like the comic industry in this country is like it's
well, the West
so
in general.
Yep. Yeah, it's so small compared to what it used to be. It's like you can't like.
What was that one that did with the new? That did it like like the agony on Colin with the photographs.
Yes.
And it did all the
Jackie.
Jackie, yes, and it wasn't
used to
drawn,
Jackie.
but there were photographs of people, and then they put speech bubbles, and then they changed some things. They were weird.
Yeah.
They were freaky as well. That whole the Martian series or whatever, the Martian trying to take over the world. He had like a running series. Can't remember what his name was, but it was just basically a bloke and like tinfoil and stuff. But because it took a black and white photograph, it worked.
Yeah. See, most of that was in black and white. Oh God, yeah. My sister used to read Jackie. I used to read Buster and Barmy Brothers 2000 AD, and then I went on to 2000 AD, Eagle, Commando, and Starblazer. I cried when I lost my Starblazers. I'd be in my 30s. I cried big boy tears.
Understandable if you've got some for a long time, and you can. Thing with books, don't you? Can always pick them up. Thing with physical media is you can always revisit anytime you want because it's there.
Yeah. So that's the thing. The thing I like about
back to our conversation we had at the start of this.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, we're not going back there. We need to finish this.
Uzumaki, entered still by the ghost of their dead husband, or maybe perhaps tormented by finally believes that there are spirals inside her ears. So she does the only thing she can do. She takes out her pair of scissors.
Which they never took
she
off her.
Stabs herself in the ears, which is like, it's terrible because you think about it. She takes out her inner ear. She also takes out her sense of balance. So the next time you see her, she's just lying on a bed with her head bandaged, screaming that the room is spinning.
And a spiral.
And then you see her funeral, where she's cremated, and the smoke of her body rises into the air like into a spiral, and then slowly descends into the middle of Dragonfly Lake. But I don't think it's not this one, right? It's not this one, yeah. It's been one of the previous ones. Where you see Kirei's dad walking out of water carrying a bucket.
Oh no!
And he literally walks out of the water with the bucket on his head.
Yeah, because that's where he clay for the pottery.
Yeah. I'm going to say it doesn't explain what he's doing there, but it explains it in the manga. That's literally he's walking out of Dragonfly Lake because he's collecting the clay from the bottom with all the ash in
episode
it.
4.
Oh, I must have missed that bit.
Yeah, they said in episode because that's how they go to find him. Yeah, that's where he gets his clay for his work. But Anyway, we haven't finished this episode yet because that's not the end of this at all.
No, you think that would be the end of it, but
No, no, no.
no.
We've got a bit more
The,
bonkers
ba-
mental
the
stuff to go.
babies are born. They're adorable. They're so cute, and they just like Kira and the doctor. Is it the doctor? Just sit there, standing slightly out of view to one side of like the maternity ward, listening to the children having their talking about how they've just come from somewhere that's so lovely and warm, and how they'd like to go back there if it was possible, and maybe they can get the nice doctor to help them.
Yeah, put them back. And then we were starting to find the women, or was it everybody's like eating these strange mushrooms and absolutely loving them?
Oh yeah, because it's like she's like, I've had enough food. Oh, don't you want any more? No, I don't like these mushrooms. The taste reminds me of blood. The mushrooms have got spirals on them.
Mm-hmm. So it turns out, yeah, this all revolves around Keiko because she gets the baby put back inside her.
That is so horrific. That is so horrific.
Like, okay, right. It's like a reverse. What do you call it? Not a hysterectomy. Cesarean. It's like a reverse
C-section.
cesarean. Yeah, C-section. That's the one. Yeah. But yeah, get back in there, you wee shit.
It's like they go into the room and there's like all these mushrooms, and it's like mushrooms. And the doctor's like, ha ha ha. They're not mushrooms. It's like the creepy children want to go back into the wombs of their mothers. They aren't happy with being born. It's like it's not natural. So it's like the moment they were born, they kept regrowing their placentas, and they're not mushrooms. They're placentas.
But that's not enough because the placentas are now used like fish lures. Because people have eaten them, they're addicted to them and they want more. So they're basically used as lures for people to come in and eat so that Keiko can eat them.
Yeah, because she's still drinking blood to feed the child that is like, oh my God, it's the fact she's literally got this huge wound going from basically the bottom of her rib cage all the way down her stomach, right down to what is known as the pubic mons or something like that. And it's like it's not so much stitched as stapled shut.
Yep. Yeah, it's like
and it's like, whoa, there are quite a few moments in this in this anime where the F word pops up, because you'll watch something, you'll be like, fuck.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? who thinks of these things? Oh, you do, you twisted bastard. Love
It's
it.
like who thought of this thing? Oh yeah, Junji did.
Fantastic.
It's like this man needs to write some horror films.
But then again, this is his medium, so why, maybe he's better doing what he does.
How would that work?
Because the problem with making a film is it's a collaborative. You have other people involved, and unfortunately, it's like Clive Barker. Clive Barker maybe shouldn't have got involved with film. It was sort of the best and the worst thing for him.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I kind of agree with that. His books had a hell of a lot more impact than any of his films ever did.
Yeah, because they're always watered down by the studios. So, got even a Hellbound Heart. The first Hellraiser was watered down, and that's only a novel. That's like a small, it's a quick read. You can read it in one go. But like even that is more graphic than the movie is. It was watered down, and everything since. I think Ito would be the same. He would try, but he would just be stonewalled. So his
Yeah.
work would never come out the way he wants it. And why break someone's spirit? If that makes sense. Because that would. Someone like him, I imagine, would break his spirit because it did the same to Barker. Barker was broken. Like it took him
I'm
up until
checking
2
now.
years ago.
I'm
to-
checking now to see if Vegito is still alive, so I can like write to him and beg him to write more books.
Don't go into movies. Leave that. To the... Tell you what, after the watch party, we'll do Uzumaki as a watch party. We'll see whether that should happen or not. That'll inform our decision.
He's still alive.
What way the begging there's going to be.
Right. He's still alive. He's only 62. There's still time.
Right. Anyway,
oh
this
no!
episode, there's still more in this episode because it's.
I've just discovered Junji Ito has a film credit.
Okie dokie.
Guillermo del Toro? Yeah. Cited on his Twitter account that Ito was originally a collaborator for Silent Hill.
The Silent Hill, the first. I haven't bothered with the return to Silent Hill. I heard it was bad. I just couldn't be arsed. I see it. I can see the bits where Ito has had his influence. You can see that with the sort of the plants and the tendrils and stuff, and when the word changes with the fire the air raid siren goes off, the typhoon siren. I mean, it's technically set in Japan. Yeah, you can see that. I can see his influence. Talking of typhoons, meanwhile, Suichi gets invited over. Is it? No, they come around to his house and to make him dinner and look after him because both his parents are gone now.
Yeah.
And then
this is he's at Kirei's house now.
Yep. And this is where
and also they're celebrating because Kirei's just been released from hospital, hasn't she?
Yeah. So they're having a dinner together, and yeah, instead of being drawn in by the spirals, Suichi's repulsed by them. So anything that has a spiral, he tries to eat. He can't.
Please eat some food off our creepy plates.
Then we'll have the bit. It's obviously Kira's father. Because he made the spiral pottery, he's now being touched by the spiral. So he's next. And he hears Suichi's parents from inside the kiln. And he's trying to make the ultimate spiral again to replace the one that was built. And he's...
Yeah. I love the fact that it's kind of like, why are my parents inside your kiln? And then he just smashes the kiln open and pretty much burns the house down.
Yep, that's it. Because how else was that going to go?
And the souls of all the people who are like ended up in Dragonfly Pond just kind of come streaming out.
Because he's been gathering them up as he's collecting his clay. And then we'll have the whole... This is, once again, it just amplifies because now the typhoons are created and now the whole town is cut off.
Brilliant. I love the fact that it's like the eye of the storm is watching you. Don't be silly. It's like storms don't have real eyes, and it just shows you like the eye of the storm. It's like, yeah, there's totally an eye in there somewhere.
Yep. But then we have this thing that the long houses are known as the poor houses. And if you live in them, you've got a stigma. Doesn't matter how well you do it up, you know what I mean? I mean, they actually look better than some of the main houses, but still. Turns out there's a neighbour's been moaning all night. They'll have this random creepy neighbour turn up. Wakabashi.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's actually the first character when he arrives. You're like, okay, yeah, this guy's no good. There's something decided.
I
guess the way he
heard
doesn't.
neighbours are screaming.
It's like there's a young they've got a boy there and he's like he's ill, so it's like you'll hear him a lot, and he's like, well, I went out there earlier and it didn't seem like there was anyone there.
Oh, but there
No, trust me.
Yep, and then this is where he turns into a tentacle monster with spiky things, tries to eat them and stuff.
That is so out of left field. Because he's like the boy living next door with his mother dies, and he's going like, you saw the body before it was taken away. What did it look like? What did it look like?
Tell me.
Tell me what the body looked like. Tell me. You know when you want to tell me what the body looked like. And he's also got a hole that goes from his side of the building into their side of the building. He's like, Kiri's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. I'm going to make her mine.
And he gets himself that excited that he turns into a tentacle monster and falls through the wall. And it's like, fucking hell. But you think I was, this all escalates. He starts waiting people out and then going after Akira. And then Shizuku Yamaguchi appears again, even though he's already dead, as an actual Jack in the Box. So the spring from the car, the has now become part of him from the car. That
he just kind of like bounces over, falls to pieces. It's like it's just the fact that Shuichi's just kind of like, that looks like a spring.
There's a body falling apart, and the fact that it's a dead body that was already dead, and yeah, just oh yeah.
But earlier on, we did see Yamaguchi. We did see Yamaguchi rise from the dead. So
he just took that out of the car with him because he's wrapped around it. Yeah, because that's the spring bit, the suspension spring. So obviously, he's wrapped around the tire. When he's got out from under it and brushed himself off, he's taken that bit with him. But he only literally appeared to save Kira and not do anything else, just fall to bits, just to add to the madness.
Strange, very strange. Mind you, you got to be quite honest, you two. So yeah, and that's kind of like him, like Yamaguchi basically appearing for one last scene, saving Kira. Oh, mind you, it's like Wakabayashi. I love the bit where Wakabayashi basically, she falls over. Wakabayashi is just about to get her. And then it's kind of like a road sign being flown around by the typhoon, just kind of like impales him through the side of the head. But it's kind of like, it's the bit where we've been talking about the storm. Is like every so often you can hear the storm whisper Kiri's name. And it's like the storm's after you, the storm wants you. And it's like the storm saves her life.
Yeah, and it's
because there's a scene where they run into the sewers and the sewers are full of spirals, and there's like this kind of like water spout of sewer water throws them up into the tornado. How do they survive that?
I don't remember.
I know there's a bit where they find the woman. A woman comes to help them, and the storm takes her because she looks a lot like Kiri when she had long hair.
Yeah, the storm's taken people, but not her. It's looking for her, but it's taken people.
But it's but when the storm realizes its mistake, it just kind of like
That's the bite. Yep.
drops the body in
Mhm.
front of them, and the body just goes. Because that's what it would do.
Yeah, it's just why? um then we just this is basically the end, episode 4 is the town's completely cut off. All of Japan knows that there's something weird going on. Newspaper reporters are trying to report on the phenomenon because they've never the fact that it's so localized is astounding. Nobody can get into the town. They notice that they go through the tunnel onto the mountain, and once they cross over the other side, like even their breath turns into spirals. Like the place is completely transformed.
I love the fact that they're just driving along the road talking about what they're going to do when they get there, and their car is totaled by a random tornado.
Mm-hmm.
That is when she's like the other people have survived, but they're trapped. So she's like, I'm going to go and get help. So she wanders off down the road, and it's like the entire road is just full of cars that have been overturned.
Yeah, so anything that comes into the town gets trapped. It's basically what they're trying to tell us. The town's cut off. You can't leave it, but also you can't come into it and go out. You can't just visit. That's it. This place is. You're either in or that's it.
I love the fact that it's like she wanders into town and she meets up with Kiri and Mitsuo, and they're kind of like walk this way, but walk very very slowly, because if you move too quickly, you'll summon a tornado.
Mhm.
Oh, and don't talk too loud, because if you raise your voice, you'll summon a tornado.
The tornadoes are almost like a police force. They're just making sure everybody stays or looking for survivors. I don't know what exactly is going on, but it becomes obvious later on what they're doing.
Mm.
Also, it turns out that the longhouses are supposedly immune from this, so people are being herded into them. And then they're going, no, this is by space, there's not enough room, get out. And they're all like, crammed into these houses. Almost like they're being corralled.
Yeah. Almost like they're being gathered together in one place.
Mm-hmm. Suichi's completely broken now. He's just muttering to himself, and
He's the poor lad has kind of. I think he's seen one too many spiral related things.
also someone like him. Remember at the start of the series, he's like, "We should run away together." So there was an opportunity there to be out of this, and they didn't take it, and he's probably full of regret as well, which is knowing at him. They could have been away from this.
Well, yeah, you can kind of understand why it's.
And it turns out
He's probably thinking it's all my fault. It's all his fault, because he's probably thinking it's all his fault because he didn't push hard enough.
He noticed
Get it out
before
of
it
there.
took place, and he didn't do it. It wasn't enough. And this is where we're starting to hear more about it's a curse. It's the curses touching people. It's been referred to as the curse. And then we'll have the phenomena of the snail people. So more and more people are being turned into snails.
It's like, oh, what are those there? It's like, oh, more and more people seem snail people. More and more people seem to be turning into snails these days. Jesus, what a fate waits them.
Oh yeah, because it turns out snail people are quite tasty.
Snail people are delicious. You think
You ever had snail?
Nando's have got something? Oh.
Proper snails, the ones that are grown for food, like the French, are not too bad, but they're
I'm just like, wow, okay.
Ever tried it?
Snails, I have. Right.
Same as frog legs. Frog legs are like chicken. Honestly, they're rubbery.
Right, I've got to be honest. I had snails, and it was just like eating a slightly chewier garlic mushroom.
Like, I don't know about you, but we used to go collect winkles and mussels.
Oh God,
Well,
yeah. When was it? When we used to go on family holidays down by the sea, we used to go cockling and all kinds of things.
yeah.
Go walking down, finding mussel beds, things like that.
Yeah, and that was it. So
Taking
snail,
them home, soaking them for a bit to see the ones that closed up and the ones that didn't.
yep.
Chucking them in a pan of boiling water, listening to the screams.
Job
I'm
done.
joking about the scream. Yeah,
No,
then
but
it's
that
like,
was the thing. You got your needle and your pin, and you obviously scooped them out. So I never.
oh,
People used
winkles.
to
I
freak
once
out.
like
To me, they were snails are nothing compared to those things. Like, they were proper, still slimy,
right.
even when they were
Have
pink.
you ever tried whelks?
Yes.
Oh God, no, I don't like whelks.
Basically, if it's
That when-
swum, if it's been in the sea, I've probably eaten it because I love seafood.
Yeah, but it's like a whelk is a whelk. When you've like killed it out of the shell, a whelk is basically like a 2.5 inch long chunk of gristle. It's not
Yeah.
the flavour. I don't like the crunch.
Like, I love octopuses. It's a bit like liver.
Yeah, octopus. I like octopus. There's two ways you can. There's two ways to cook octopus. You can either cook it slowly, or you can cook it quick. But you can't cook it in any way in between.
No, I like a bit of octopus. Raymond.
Delicious.
Squid loves love calamari, love squid. I mean, I just love
Yep.
seafood. Always have. Maybe that's growing up by the sea. Might have had something to do with it. But yeah,
But they don't have
It
any
turns
of
out-
that in it. All they've got is snails.
they've got
Snail people. Oh God.
And it starts off. It turns out we've got what are known as. God, because we missed them in the last episode. They're now the Dragonfly Gang. I can't remember. They were
Like,
the
yeah,
they were
like,
known as
it's
the
like,
Butterfly
like,
Gang.
it's one of the groups that needs more background, but they were known as the Butterfly Gang.
Yep, and then they became
And
the
they
Dragonfly
kind of
Gang.
like they use the tornadoes that you so many of you move too quickly or talk too loud
Mhm.
as a form of transport. And
But-
it's hinted at this when they find them like eating like the snail people. It's kind of like I thought you were the Butterfly Gang. No, flower nectar didn't do it for us anymore. We've become the Dragonfly Gang.
And we eat snail people.
No, we eat snail people. And I'm like, right. Like it's
But
not the
that's
fact
not-
that they're eating, like it's not the fact that they're eating the snail people, because the snail people are just kind of like, constructs of Judge Ito's imagination.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not the thought of eating the snail people. It's not the fact they're eating the snail people. It's the way that the meat from the snail people is drawn. I can't explain it, but there's something about the way that the chunks of meat are rendered that just makes my toes curl.
Basically, it's not like the supermarket, the polystyrene tray, and you can barely tell if it's a cow or a lamb or what. Some of the cutlets. Everything looks nice and safe, but this does not look nice and safe. And you see them cracking the shell and all, and they start out the way they cook them and all, but it's still. That's it. And the thing is, once you eat it, that's it. You're hooked. It's a bit like the placenta mushrooms. You know what I mean? Once you taste one of these things, that's it. It's basically another way for the spiral to
You have
get
to
in your head.
remind us about the placenta.
Yeah.
Placenta mushroom is still the creepiest thing in this entire
Yeah,
anime.
God, that's yeah. This is the bit then that maybe cramming everybody into one place isn't a good idea when you're dealing with the Lovecraftian cosmic horror force.
Yeah, because they go back to the they built a ship it's kind of like they went back to the Longhouse earlier on, and they basically weren't allowed entry back into the Longhouse because a load more people have arrived and it was too full and there was no room for anybody. So Kire and the rest of them, and the Chi,
Mhm.
the reporter. They kind of like make a shelter under a partially collapsed roof. When they get back from the dragonfly people and whatnot, that has been destroyed. It's gone.
Mhm.
They find Mutsuki, their younger brother, partially trapped under some rubble. Their mother has disappeared. And that's when they go back to the longhouse. And it's like, no, you can't go in.
Yep.
Let us in. No, you can't come in.
I just like the way Chris said
And-
there that he loves the cover art. You know, the
Yeah.
with I mean
Oh,
Azami.
Azami. Yeah,
But
that is
that's mild.
Azami.
We're way past that. That was mild.
Yeah, that is Azami. Just at the moment, she loses her eye.
Yep. But that was mild compared to where we're at now because
Oh yeah, but we should send Chris a link for this, because if there's one horror anime that he should watch, I think Uzumaki is it.
Mhm.
You can probably find the comic version of it in a comic shop over in the States. I don't think it's called Uzumaki over there. I think it's just called Spiral, which is basically what Uzumaki means.
Mhm.
But this is one that is very, very worth it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, then we see the house. And this is where it just goes bonkers.
Yeah, it's like they managed to pry the door open.
And then they
And
realize
it's like, yeah,
it's not people anymore. It's humongous gelatinous blob of merged people. And you're like, okay, right, close the doors. We're not getting in there.
it's like, yep, fine, fair enough. Okay, yeah, well,
That's yours.
yeah,
That's yours. You win. Okay. Back
yeah,
away.
you can have it. And I like the way it kind of like it collapses on one side, and this like sausage of people comes out, and they just start grabbing bits of wood and rebuilding it.
Yep. Which is foreshadowed because the way this turns out. One of the most powerful scenes, and it just shows that because a lot of Lovecraftian horror, a lot of stuff's all very isolated, isn't it? When you tell the stories and doesn't really have an impact in the world. That's the whole point. Is not, that usually try to take out the cult and stuff so it doesn't affect the real world. But you have the blood, you've got news cameras, you've got everyone's watching this phenomenon, and even the Navy turns up
Yes,
and off the coast. And the Navy doesn't last very long. And the bit with the sparrow, like the whirlpool appears, and then you hear all like the, in the distance, the warning klaxons and all on the ships, as because they're battleships, they're frigates.
Oh yeah.
And then that's it, they're gone. You're just like, oh right, okay. So even the Navy, like the full might of the Navy, can't save them. They're on their own. And the world knows this is happening. This isn't like a secret, that you stumble away from.
Right, yeah. Whatever this is, it's big enough and it's ugly enough that it can totally take care of itself.
Yep.
It's like humanity, and the most powerful things humanity can throw at it are absolutely nothing compared to the spiral.
So any sense that you're going to get saved goes out the window when you see an entire navy disappear in a whirlpool. It just hammers home the point of, yeah, you're at our mercy, you're on your own. You just got to ride this out.
But what in face of that, in face of the enormity of that, and the realization that no one is coming to help you, what can you do apart from give up and eat snail people?
Yeah, just okay. Munch.
The way they draw that meat, though. Oh God.
What was that flight that got crashed in the Alps?
I don't know, but I remember the film on it.
Yeah, I've never watched the film, but I just knew the story. But
Yeah,
basically,
the one
that they
where
get to that point where they decide they're going to have to eat the dead to live.
right. I would never eat a human being. I would never eat another human being because I know the kind of shit that we put in our bodies.
Look, if we're on an island together and I get hungry, you better run. If it comes
Wait,
down to
this
that,
this is a this is a stereotypical island, so there's going to be at least one coconut tree.
yeah, it's
Also
okay.
fish.
Yeah, well, like I said, if it gets to that point, sorry, if you're there, and
Wow,
it's an option, you'll become sausages.
sausages, great.
Yep. No, yeah, just that scene, like there's nothing graphic about it, but it's just the horror implied is brilliant. The giving up, the resign, the fate that there's nothing they can do about this. They're completely at the mercy of the curse, and they just have to ride this out and basically go with whatever. Um, they try one last thing because they realize that they can't leave. Every time they try to leave, things happen. The last avenue is the mountains. They try and get up and out that way. This serves as a good point, I think, because we're letting time pass, and we're also killing
I I've, I've got to be honest. I love the fact that one of the characters is like, you just think we're walking, where they're just walking and walking. They're to be, I can feel time slipping away from us.
Mhm. But also the other reporters appear,
Yeah, they've degenerated a lot.
and this is where everyone else is used to the madness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But they have been hit full smack in the face, so they instantly fall. So they're not even bothering to cook or steal people anymore, or wait till they die. They're just eating them,
Yeah, but it's one of the reporters turns into a snail people in front of him.
and they just
He's
immediately
like,
start
oh,
eating.
he's turning into snail people. Quick, let's eat him.
What? Yeah, I always wanted to know what one tastes like raw. I don't even want to cook him anymore. And he basically grinds inside the shell, like just a frenzy. I mean, that's the only way to describe it. It's a frenzy.
It's like, are we going to get him out of his shell? Well, but there are insects that eat snails like this. Sticks his head inside the shell, starts wiggling in
Mm-hmm. Ah, rah, rah, rah. And you're like,
like you would.
yeah, this is not about eating or being hungry. This is like frenzy. So what you've got now, like the minute you turn into a snail person, people are going to go into a frenzy and eat you straight away.
Because they're
Which
delicious.
which
They probably
is
taste just like
unfortunate.
chicken.
Which is unfortunate for Pear Matsu because guess what? He starts to turn
Return to
into a
the
snail person.
snail. I love the way they keep trying to hide the fact that he's turning into a snail.
Yeah,
But when they notice they manage to get away from them enough that they literally send him down a cliff.
that was a
You
heartbreaking
notice
scene.
that is probably the saddest scene thing. But you notice they send him down the cliff towards the lighthouse, so that's not going to end well.
No, but that was like kicking a puppy. Throwing rocks at your dog to get it to run away from you. That's what
They
that felt like.
they were jabbing him in the side of the
Yeah, run.
thing with a stick.
Basically getting him to run, or slime away so that they wouldn't catch him. Yeah, that was a heartbreaking moment.
Slime faster. Good
This is where they
stuff.
decide they want to find
Mm.
Kira's parents,
Yeah,
and
it's like they climb over the mountain, or they think they do, and they don't. They end up back at the village,
mhm,
and the entire town has just turned into a spiral of these row houses,
just
just
one.
a tightly wound spiral.
So they've just built this thing. They've just turned it into, and we watched it when we saw the way they do it at the start. We know how they've built it. So they've left time, get up their mountains is just giving it time. So just to watch this thing happen, when it's come back. There you go, it's created. Everybody has left. Essentially, Kiria and Sorichi are the only two left. And they decide they're going to try and get their parents, get Kira's parents, and then get Maritsu and try and get out. Oh yeah, they still have Chia with them. So they decided that's where the smoke's going, to the Dragonfly Lake, so they may as well go or Dragonfly Pond. They may as well go try there.
I've never been to Dragonfly Pond, says. He was one of the reporters, wasn't he? The guy we talked to.
Yeah, that was the rest of the van that got tipped over. That was the rest of the crew. But yeah, that's just them going through the place and just the eerily quiet.
I can say there's no noise, not even bird song.
And then
which I've got to be quite honest, I do like that.
Yeah, because it's a eerie silence, a creepiness. It's danger. Like when animals, like that's a survival thing. When animals stop chirping, there's a predator. You know what I mean? It's classic, just lizard brain.
I'm glad I've got my lizard brain. It stops me from doing stupid things.
I wish mine did. I've done too many stupid things over my life. I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to quit doing stupid things. But yeah, this is where they start to basically go to the center of the spiral, and then they see a gap to try and get through. They think they can go through the houses. And yeah, that's where Chia gets captured by the humongous blob thing, because it's just traveling through the spiral. It's almost like a snail, isn't it?
Or a mole, maybe. It's like the spiral. Like, thing is, I was wondering, I'm thinking
like the snails,
just kind of like, what do you even call it? The lump of bodies, the conglomeration. Does this like lump of bodies? Is it supposed to fill the entire spiral up, or is the spiral kind of like its burrow and it just travels from one end to the other?
I don't quite know.
I need to know these things.
It's as if there's extra space because it's still traveling through, but they go through the gap, and then that's where Chia gets grabbed, and then they realize that's
I love that it's not so much. It's like, because it's like, I remember there's two of them. There's two, and there's a gap between them, and it's like two of them making through, but Chia, that like a piece of wood slaps down, and they're like, no, Chia, and then just like the gap in the wall just like closes.
Yep.
And then there's silence.
That's the end of her, just like that. She's part of
that. Or that also is kind of like it's a bit of a gut punch, that is.
Yeah, because she's not even from the village.
Yeah, you know one of them isn't going to make it, and it's like it was like from the three people who were left, she was like the one who didn't really have any connection.
Yeah. Once again, it was just so sudden. This is as they're basically traveling. They find that Dragonfly Pond is completely drained, and there's a spiral staircase. They start to go down to basically find out what this is about. This is where Suichi gets grabbed by this, whatever that, like, it's almost like a break off from the main blob. Just grabs him and tumbles him down. He just disappears down the spiral, never to be seen again.
Yeah. I don't know because it's like the guy with the beard who's been like helping everybody build the spiral. He's grabbing like spiralized people when we see him, when they meet up with him again. I never thought about that. He's totally collecting the dead, isn't he?
Hmm.
So it's like obviously when people who are part of the pink lump die, they must feel like that kind of like
They break off.
unlump them and chuck them out.
Yeah, because it's not a singular living organism. But this is the bit where basically Kira, she's nothing else to do but carry on. And then she finds her parents who are just gone, dead for years. Like it's not like it's been 5 minutes. It's almost like they've lived their entire lives and perished. And this is where they find she finds Surichi again. For some reason, he was just let go once he hits the bottom. And that's where they see the ancient ruins.
He's in a pretty bad way though.
Yeah. No, he's had better days. But that's where they find the ruins of this ancient building or whatever it is, temple, structure. It's not Japanese. It's not really identifiable. It's just something ancient and alien.
Something strangely non-Euclidean about it.
Mm.
Actually, there isn't because it's all round, it's all circles.
Yeah, it's all spirals, but it's not.
Or should that be spirals?
Mm-hmm. But it's been there since before time began. That's the sense you get from it. I think that's when Surichi and Kiri finally realize there's nothing else to do. They just have to give up.
Yeah,
There's no
because it's like he's like we've got to carry on. He's like, do you know what? I can't carry on. I've had enough. I'm tired. I just want to rest. I haven't got the power to fight this anymore.
Mm-hmm. And then that's where she decides.
Oh, are we going to go into this, or are we going to go leave it and force people to watch it?
No, we'll just as well because you may not get to watch it unless you go digging.
This is true. I found a place for that. Mm-hmm. I just won't mention it on stream because somebody might go, tell people.
No, it's up to you. You know, if you can find it, I'd like to get a DVD copy of this. I'd like to get a.
It's like I said at the moment, because of like political boundaries and things at the moment. It's like a lot of the old sites where you used to watch things are still working if you take .to or .net off the end of them and put .ru.
Fair enough.
Because at the moment, if an American company turns around to Russia and says, we want you to get rid of this website.
Yet.
Russia's not going to do it.
That's it. Yet.
It's like the Cold War's coming back and it's going to be great for anime streaming.
Sorry, I just said no in Russian.
Yeah.
Yet. Yep. Sorry. No, yeah, it's a shitty situation. Like I said, if the
I actually find the end of this quite sad. Because it's like the end of this part of the story is kind of like the two people who are the heroes basically turning around and saying, you know what, we haven't got the energy to fight this anymore.
Yep. And with that, basically the curse ends. You know, that's it. It's run its cycle. Now, what I will not spoil, but did you watch the end credits?
I do. I watched the end. I watched the end credits of every anime all the way to the end because you'll be amazed how many, especially in like short season things like this. Like every single episode of this has something that happens in the end credits.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch the end credits.
Okay, so we'll not spoil that. But like I said, these 4 episodes are only the first part of this book.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the story does not end. And I'm all for it.
No, the story continues.
This was dark and twisted, and like I said, it's been ages since I've been in sync with the story and getting surprised as the plot happens. I love that. I just love that.
See, right. I remember when we added this one to the list. It was a case of like, when we get to this one, you are gonna eat well. When we get to this one, you are gonna, and when you get to watch Uzumaki, you are gonna absolutely love it. And I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, it was well
Joji
worth it.
Ito will forever and always be one of my favorite horror writers.
But this was also a faithful adaptation.
Oh yeah,
Which once again,
it's
you have to be careful with adaptations because, as we have discovered, they're not always as good as
faithful.
the original material.
Mhm.
Some are better, some some take it this level. But
Are we talking about Death Note here by any chance?
no, I'm talking about Pet Shop of Horrors,
Oh.
where the anime is actually better than the manga.
I find that, considering how bad the anime was, I find that so
That's why I
hard
had to. That's why I had to check it out. I'm like, this can't be worse. Oh my fuck, it is. Oh dear.
What is this?
Yeah. Oh, okay. The anime was better. Oh shit. That does not.
Wow.
No, I can't. If it was a book and I slammed it and thrown it across the room.
No,
It was a
I
police
have
sergeant.
only.
It was
Wow.
sorry, the police lieutenant's character. When I saw him and realized that they actually gave him more, he made him a more serious character in the anime. I'm like, fuck this.
Oh my god, no!
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Jesus
I've
Christ,
only ever thrown one manga across the room, and that was a manga called "I Want to Eat Your Pancreas," which isn't a horror; it's a love story.
Okay. Roses are red, violets are blue. I wanna. Yeah, never mind.
Eat your pancreas.
Yeah, somebody else can work that out. But yeah, this was this is well worth it. It's proper horror.
Yeah, I like most of the time, not including Pet Shop of Horrors, they are very, very faithful, and I can't actually see Joji Ito be willing to let somebody kind of like make an anime of one of his works unless it was absolutely faithful to the story.
Yeah, but like I said, like Barker, he needs to be careful. You have to have the right people because
Yes. I think
we'll
this is
use
one
Death
of
Note
the
as the example. Like I said, that should have triggered the third word. That should have triggered Pearl Harbor Part 2. Really should have.
Yes.
That was an act of war.
That's it. They should totally have
Yeah, that was an act of war, that movie.
yes.
I would not be upset. Honestly, I'd be like, no, that was 100% justified. Crack on. That's how I feel about that. Anyway, guess what we get to do this time?
Oh my god! But wait. We've only had one. We've only been here for one, and we get to we get to spin the wheel.
Yep, get to do it again.
I've got my pen ready because if I don't write it down, I will forget it.
Yeah, I always go back and keep this up. But anyway, right, shall we go for it? See what we're doing next.
Let's go for it.
Did I take Uzumaki off this? Right, if it comes up again, I might have to spin it. Right, let's go. Serial Experiments Lane.
Ooh, wow.
Do you remember that one?
Right, this one might take some hunting out because this is like 80s anime. Opening theme tune by a band called Duvet, which is Scottish, or was Scottish.
It's a mini-series. 1998.
Was it 98? Wow, it's not as old as I thought it was. My copy of Lane's over there. Guide of Lane.
Well, maybe the animes, or sorry, the manga's older.
Character designs by Yoshitoshi Abe, who I respect a great deal.
Strange things start happening when a withdrawn girl named Lane becomes obsessed with an interconnected virtual realm known as the Wired. Is this like Ghost in the Machine type, Ghost in the Shell type stuff?
Kind of, yes. But any more, I will not say.
Oh, that's an old school anime, isn't it?
Right. It is a very old school anime. I don't think if you like modern flashy animation styles and things like that, you won't like you might not like the animation because it's
No, but
quite
look what we
minimalistic
just
in its
watched.
way. Yeah,
We've
it's
just
very
praised one.
the animation is very minimalistic, but the story for me is incredible.
That's very cleanly drawn. Oh, look at the way he's got. He's got the top button undone. That's yeah.
Lane.
Oh, look at that!
Right,
Look at the way he's got the shading on the glasses.
Lane is why I have the 3-episode rule. Because it's kind of like you like. I watched the first episode of Lane and it was like, no, I'm not into this. I'm not into this at all. And I watched the second episode and it was like, I don't. It's like, do you know what? I don't like this. This is rubbish. I don't like this. I watched the third episode. Halfway through the third episode, everything clicked. And then I just kind of like binge watched the rest of it. It took me like a week, maybe a week and a half between episode 2 and episode 3. But after I watched episode 3, I just sat there and watched the rest of it. I just binged it.
Cool. So there you go. That's what we're doing next. Hopefully, this isn't as much of a pain in the backside to find. Because, that was, like I said, the whole thing's frustrating. We'll not go over it again with the first hour of the stream is all that. But there you go. There's that. That was, really enjoyed that, Uzumaki. I'm looking forward now to reading the full manga.
Excellent.
Now that I've watched it. Because I was holding back. I was starting to read it, and then I saw from the trailer or the thing from the first episode, it was going to be the story beat for beat. So I'm like, nope, I'll hold back. Now I'll get stuck into this.
Now you get to go back and enjoy the art all over again.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Like
Thanks, buddy, as always.
When you see the scene of the swirling eyeball, you will hear the slurpy noise in the back of your head.
Yep. But there you go. Thanks, man, as always. Thanks for everybody for turning up. We'll get this set up for the next one. We are back on Wednesday for the live action Bleach watch party. So if you get that queued up, join us Wednesday evening, set the stream reminders and all, and then we can all watch that together. That'll be fun.
And fun will be had.
Yep.
Because I've never seen the live action Bleach.
If I remember rightly, it was decent. But I guess we'll find out again together. But there you go. Thanks again, everybody. Just seems to say, until next time, keep up to date with the channel, do the type of things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.